especially for you. You can find it at www.trygreatwhite.com. It's also sponsored by Florida Allied Health, located in Boca Raton, Florida, specializing in men's health, women's health, medical weight loss, IV therapy infusion, testosterone therapy, hormone replacement therapy. Florida residents only. Well, here we are. Episode 97. That was a good year. That was the year I get out of the military. They got 10 out of me, I got 10 out of them. I think I came out on top. But anyways, on this episode, once again, continuing their residency, Mark Smith and Lou Calicchio from the Music Relish Podcast, we're going to be talking about the Wrecking Crew. For those of you who don't know who the Wrecking Crew is, you actually probably do if you're listening to this podcast. It means you like music. You don't know? Well, you're going to know. And I'm sure Lou and Mark are coming to the table with a boatload of information, because that's what I pay them for. Enjoy the podcast.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
The KOFB studio presents Milk Crates and Turntables, a music discussion podcast hosted by Scott McLean. Now, let's talk music. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Amanda, for that wonderful introduction as usual. Welcome to the podcast. You know the name, so I'm not going to say it. As usual, streaming live right now over YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, D-Live, Facebook Live. I think I already said that. I don't know, a bunch of live stuff. I'm working on Amazon Live. Amazon Live has they call it now, it's a streaming service, live streaming. So I'm working on moving over to that too. Might as well fill up as much as we can, you know? So yeah, tonight we're talking about the Wrecking Crew. With the Wrecking 2, Mark Smith and Lou Calicchio of the Music Relish Podcast. Enough of that. The Wrecking 2.
That's good.
See? Clever like that.
Really?
Yeah. What's up, gentlemen?
Can I be Hal Blaine?
You can be Hal Blaine all day. You can be Hal Blaine all day. And Mark can be Carol Kaye. How's that?
There you go. I got the hair.
Perfect.
Lou, I want you to be Bernard Purdy. You got the shuffle.
Oh, he also has his background set up right this week.
That's right. That's right. I'm doing the close camera technique.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So I was listening somehow today. I ended up clicking on one of my earlier podcasts, and it's real interesting how podcasts or anything you kind of do starts to evolve and mature. And my early podcast, I would always try to I don't know, I hate the term, but for lack of a better term, like wax poetic about what the episode is going to be about, right? And I would say, like, did you ever have one of those moments when you were listening to a song in your car? And I would go into this little story, and then I would lead into what on this episode, right? I don't know where it evolved into, welcome to the podcast. This is what we're doing. This is what's up, you know? Or this is episode 97 and yeah, blah, blah, blah. Just get this shit over with. It was too much thinking on the other one.
Okay.
It was
You were conceptualizing though.
Yeah, I was conceptualizing. It was too much thinking. It was too much. Like, it's better to just free ball it. I mean, freestyle it.
Yep.
Let it flow. Let it flow.
Let it flow.
Let it flow. And yeah, interesting, the evolution of this podcast from the beginning to now, coming up on 100 episodes.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Not bad, not bad.
Any plans for the centennial?
I don't know. Hopefully Jack will be able to make it.
Cool.
That would help. Of course, you
Yeah.
two are going to be on it. I mean, there's only 4 of us on the show now. The herd doesn't thin. This herd has actually grown. So,
right. That's like 3 weeks away.
yeah, I won't be doing one next week. As we talked about last week, I'll be somewhere in the Caribbean, on the ship.
4 weeks.
4 weeks. It's like 4 weeks away. Yeah. That's what. Either way, we'll do something. I might have to really dig down and do some editing and stuff like that.
Oh, you never edit. You never edit.
That's the thing. I love editing. I love editing video, and I love. But on this podcast, I always try to keep it like. But I'll pull some chops out from some old episodes and.
Oh, cool.
Just to kind of give a how it evolved type thing, and we'll see where it goes.
The tuna sandwich better be in it.
The tuna sandwich episode. I know. I know. So, yeah, tonight, the Wrecking Crew.
Yes.
Who were the 3 main components, would you say, Lou, of the Wrecking Crew?
As far as instrumentalists, you mean
Just
players?
like the leaders. They were the ones. And everybody else was kind of.
I would
although
say,
there was no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Although there was no set number of people, as we know.
It's a big list. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, a lot of horn players. But if you think of that core, like the core rhythm sections, guitar, bass, drums, keyboard.
So who would you say are the 3?
Although, as far as the drums go, I'm going to say Hal Blaine.
Yeah, you have to.
With utmost respect to Earl Palmer. Earl Palmer, he's considered, and I didn't know since recently, he's considered one of the founders, the creators of rock and roll as the form. He was one of the first jazz drummers that gave it that big fat beat, like on little Richard songs, Fats Domino. But I don't think he's as well known, or maybe didn't do as many sessions as Hal Blaine. But Hal Blaine is the guys, in my mind, he is God.
Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll
Hall of Fame. Yeah, in fact, Hal and Earl Palmer were the first Sidemen inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Wrecking Crew was inducted like a year or 2 later. So those 2 guys were the first ones of the side people. But on bass, Carol Kaye. Yeah. And guitar, Tommy Tedesco. Yep. Bass, oh man.
Well, bass, you'd have to say Carol Kaye.
Yeah, Carol Kaye. I was thinking of Joe Osborn. It's hard to tell but I'm gonna say Carol Kaye.
She started as a guitarist in the Wrecking Crew, right?
She played some guitar as well.
Yeah. I think they are. There's a bunch of them that crossed over. They could play pretty much anything they really wanted. They were that talented.
Yeah, right.
They might not have been as great on one as they are on another, but they could pick up an instrument. Now, let me ask you this. Mark, you're a guitar player, right? Could you pick up a bass guitar and pretty much know how to play it? Lou, you play guitar too, right, Lou?
Yeah. Yep.
The dumbest mistake you could make would be to pick up a bass and say, look, I can go do. That's not, no. The best bass players in Carol Kaye, no, I couldn't do what she does.
Well, no, nobody really could. I mean, that's a whole nother topic, right? Great bass players. But like, if you had a bass guitar, you're at your friend's house and said, could you, I mean, it's the same chords, right?
I could get by. I wouldn't know how to play with the bass, like, getting with the drummer. That's a whole nother talent of being a bass player, but I could get by.
Right.
And passably.
What about you, Lou?
On guitar, I can get by on guitar. I'm not a fluid. I'm a rhythmic player. Bass, I play bass. Well, and it's true. I can rip off a amateur solo here and there. Enthusiastic though. But on bass, when I do my own recordings, I have to painstakingly construct it. It's not my instrument. But I understand it. But I've done some nice bass parts, but to get up there and just off the cuff do it, I couldn't.
Right.
I bet Mark could though.
Fills are hard. Fills, the way bass players do those. If you don't do it right, you sound like an idiot. When you do it. So.
When you hear some of those bass parts separated, like Joe Osborn on Aquarius, like holy shit. It's a lead part, really. It's they're not going boom, 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 that hitting the root notes and just going with the rhythm of it. These guys are playing alternate rhythms and melodies and stuff opposite the rest of the band. It's incredible. Like we were young, like I couldn't hear bass on early Beatles recordings. I really didn't know what Paul was doing early on. You knew he was there, but in a way he helped evolve the instrument to where it could be lyrical. But yeah, I get it. Yeah, Carol Kaye she was most well-known bass player on that.
Let me go off topic.
Not the lesser of any. I mean, not the greater of any of the others, but
no.
Yeah.
But she was who she was. I mean, they knew what she had, the talent that she had.
Yep.
Let me go off topic for 1 second. This is just a question that I've kind of pondered on. So, last night I on Facebook I posted, saying that my favorite Rush song, and Mark had seen it. He commented on it. Is Subdivision, right? And how great that song is, because I said it could be about Winthrop, Massachusetts, where I grew up, and Mark said
it's about Hillsdale,
New Jersey, right?
And Lou would say Park Ridge
or Keensburg, New Jersey. Yeah.
So
yeah. Yep.
So think of how fucking great that song is, and the fact that everybody can relate to it.
Yeah.
Right? Every fucking kid said, no, that's my town.
That might be the only Rush song where Neil Peart wrote lyrics that everybody can relate to it and understand it. Like some of the songs, a lot of people say, oh, what the hell he's writing about? It sounds cool, but that's one song it's that suburban malaise. It's that alienation, you don't fit with that clique. And
I got a text from my friend Phil Kelly asking me today what's the topic tonight. And then I reminded him, and he remembered that it's the Wrecking Crew. But he sent me a text, said my favorite Rush song, Subdivisions. He said I was talking to a friend of mine, big Rush fan. He said, quote, I don't like that song. Everybody's different. That's fine. But my friend Phil, I believe he said it was the first Rush song that went from, what did he say? That went from them doing crazy 10-minute solos to me making sense of it. So that talks about what you just said.
Yeah, it's just, what is Cygnus about, or some of the other more 2112 tracks? But that was a song where, like I said,
right? Such a great
teenager
song,
can
great
relate to it. Yeah, oh yeah.
Everybody can, even adults, once they hear it for the first time and they can catch the lyrics or they read the lyrics, they'll go, "Oh shit!" Like, yeah. So it was a phenomenal song. Now let me ask you this, and
that's one of the few Rush songs I can play on drums.
Really?
I can do that one. Yeah,
I could probably do the keyboard. So,
are you Grandpa Al?
looks
like
Rage Against the Cafe is going to do a Rush cover.
Looks like we're doing a Rush
one of my favorite songs to play.
I will buy my keyboard and then return it after the show.
It doesn't work.
So it's easy to say Neil Peart is in the top 5 greatest drummers ever, correct?
In rock, yeah.
In rock, yeah. So, and Geddy Lee has to be considered one of the best bass players in rock.
Monster.
Right?
It just starts there, because in the 80s, if you saw him like with Power Windows, this guy would have the bass around his neck. He'd be playing a bank of keyboards, singing, doing the Taurus pedals, and then going to his bass. He was a freak of nature.
Yeah. And Alex Lifeson, right? Arguably a phenomenal one of the top guitar players in the game.
Absolutely.
It's a mistake to underestimate him. I've heard people go, "Oh, he's very simple sometimes." No, he's not.
He's not. So with that trio, why are they never considered in the top 10 best rock bands ever? Like
two words. Geddy's voice. A lot of people don't like his voice.
That'd be a good point.
Really?
I've run across a lot of people.
Fucking
that don't like
Neil Young? Really? Like, you want to talk about like Neil Young, fucking Bob Dylan, Geddy Lee? They don't like, and I'm not arguing with you, Mark.
I hear you. I agree with you.
There's a lot of singers that could be put in that category too, Scott. Like you said, a lot of people say the same thing about Dylan. They say the same thing. The other guy you mentioned, Tom Petty. Even I've heard people say, I never liked his voice.
Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
Or Bruce I Screamstein.
Yeah. In his youth, he screamed.
Yeah.
Now he walks around like an old man on stage.
Like Woody Allen. So like, why is Rush never really, just because of, I can't think that his voice is what whole, it's because they're Canadian.
Nah, I'm a huge Rush fan. I'm a big
Me
Rush
too.
fan.
Yes.
Me too. I love
Yes.
this.
Although I like the period no one else likes, the 80s. But I think what it is as big as they are, they appealed mostly to, I don't want to say
Men.
progressive fans, men.
Boys,
There you
boys.
go. Yeah.
Well, so did Ted
They have
Nugent.
no,
I
they have
mean,
no
and
female
he's
fans.
Ted Nugent's like a rock god to testosterone-driven kids of the 80s.
And
right?
that's more of a basic rock that appeals to, if you're at a party, you're going to put on, oh shit, what was
Cat
his
Scratch
first-
Fever.
I was
or
going to say his
Scratch
first
Fever.
album, Stranglehold.
Stranglehold.
Okay.
It's Stranglehold or Limelight. Now, 80% of the people at the party would like Limelight. But if you're drinking beers, 100% of the people are going to like Stranglehold. You know,
Yeah.
it's more of a,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a driving
Yeah.
rock.
I just don't. I just don't get how like you have those three phenomenal, and their library is, you know, it's great. Although not everybody's into prog rock, right? So
Yeah.
maybe that is there.
I think that their initial heyday too, like they didn't really get kind of write any songs that were a little more, I guess you could call it radio friendly up until like 1980. So
Yeah.
they, their whole
guess,
introductory,
yeah.
like the first time I saw them was on like the Midnight Special or Don Kirshner's rock concert. It was live stuff from 2112, and I was intrigued. But at that time, I was like, it's
Did
kinda
they have the
bad.
flowing shirts on?
Oh yeah, that was the whole mid 70s. Yeah, they
and the belt, the cloth belt around,
They dressed like the
holding
band
their
Angel.
karate gi.
Yeah,
shirt
yeah,
with
exactly.
the big sleeves and
yeah.
bell bottom.
2112
Neil,
album.
Neil Peart had a handlebar mustache.
Yes.
like Dick Dastardly.
Yeah, yeah. Oh shit.
But the voice, the first time I heard Getty's voice, I was like, "Whoa, that is just friggin' weird." You know, I didn't hate it, but you know, I was intrigued. But
Yeah, I always thought it worked. I never heard it, but just don't want to get off on the rest of the show on Rush. So that was just, maybe we'll bring it up again next week. Oh well, I won't be here in a couple weeks. But how did the Wrecking Crew get their name?
there's some little controversy there. Some people attribute it to Hal Blaine, that he said that when they first, they were jazz players and they're a little unconventional for the times. They weren't what they called, the long hairs were the classically trained kind of stuffy, uptight ones. So these guys, although they never really have long hair, but they were just a little more casual. But they were embracing the rock and roll, where a lot of the old guard was thinking it was going to wreck the business. So
Right.
I think Hal Blaine kind of took that in his memoir. He called them the Wrecking Crew. Carol Kaye said they were also called the First Call Band sometimes, or the Click.
Yeah. Yeah, the First Call Gang. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
But
Click.
Wrecking Crew is the best name, though.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on, because they came in and they just came in and took charge. Those sessions, they own those sessions.
So there's a question amongst themselves, right, as to how many members are in the Wrecking Crew. So you hear the Wrecking Crew, and you think it's a set group of people, like
Right.
the backup band, the studio band for Motown, right?
The Funk Brothers, yeah.
The Funk Brothers, right? So it was like, I don't know how many of them. There's 8 of them, 9 of them, 7 of them.
There was a fairly large core, but
There was-
didn't
yeah.
weren't as many satellite musicians. I don't think.
Right. I
with the
think that
Wrecking Crew.
they stuck together, right? They were pretty much. So I have a list of names, and I want to see, Mark, are you familiar with them as much as Lou might be?
No, Lou is the master of them. I learned late. I actually learned from Lou and Perry about the Wrecking Crew.
Ah, okay.
And just to put it in perspective, on Spotify they have a Wrecking Crew playlist. It's 23 hours long.
So
it's nothing but hits.
there you go. Right.
So-
It's incredible.
Yeah, and the individual members, because I know Glenn Campbell was a member. I know him. Carol Kaye, I knew about her going way back. I didn't know she was a member of the Wrecking Crew, but I had always read in the guitar magazines. So Lou and Perry kind of educated me on that. When I said, did they play on a lot of songs? Yeah, of course.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you recognize? I mean, how much do you recognize off that Spotify playlist?
It starts with "Don't Worry, Baby," "Be My Baby," Limbo Rock, Chubby Checker. I mean, yeah, it's a lot on
That's
there.
just a lot.
They're on the Limbo. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Surf City, Jan and Dean. You've
So do
Lost
they
the Love of
count
Feeling.
it as if one of them play on it? Is that considered right? Or is it Like I wonder how they would.
It was never an issue because everyone who played on those sessions was a full-fledged member. I don't think there was, if it wasn't Hal Blaine, it was Earl Palmer. If it wasn't Earl Palmer, it was Jim Gordon.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, Lou, I'm going to put you to the test here.
All right.
So you named off Earl Palmer, right? Yeah. You just named off Jim Gordon. You named off Tommy Tedesco, Hal Blaine, Carol Kaye. Give me some other names.
Okay.
Without your notebook.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I want to test you on this
one. All right.
one.
Okay. I just see Carol Kaye.
Get your bottle, Mark. Get the bottle ready. Hold on. There we go. This is the part of the show I told Mark. Just be ready, buddy. There you go. Hold it up. Show it to the.
You're testing product placement.
He's ready to go.
You're testing my memory now. Okay. Oh shit. Well, actually, Carol Kaye played on La Bamba, which I didn't know. So on bass it was Carol Kaye. There was Joe Osborn, Ray Pullman. He was one of the first electric bass players in rock and roll. He went on to become the musical director of Shindig. But he was a cool dude. Chuck Rainey played, maybe not as much as some of the others, but Chuck Rainey is a bass player on the Asia album by Steely Dan.
Okay.
So he goes from that period over. So he was an older dude when he did that. There's a guy named Bergdorfer.
Chuck Berghofer.
He's the bass player on These Boots Are Made for Walking. That bass thing, it was something he came up with. And they said no one else.
It's so infectious.
It's so weird. The tonality is weird. But they said Carol Kaye said someone else could play those notes, but they couldn't play it like that. So whatever he did was unique. But that's an upright, the double bass they call that.
Right.
I said Joe Osborn. I think that's better than all the bass players I know. Let's see, guitar players. There was Tommy Tedesco, Al Casey, Bill Pittman, Glenn Campbell. I said Tommy Tedesco.
There was a jazz guy I know of. What's his name?
Anyway, so some keyboard players. Larry Knechtel, famous guy. I think he might be the piano player on Bridge Over Troubled Water, which is epic. Leon Russell, of course. There's Joe, the Porcaro brothers from Toto. Their father, Joe Porcaro, played percussion on a lot of Wrecking Crew stuff.
The father of the Porcaros.
Yeah, yep. The father of the Toto brothers.
Yeah.
I did say Jim Gordon.
Dr. John.
Yeah, he did. But I mean, some of those guys didn't play as much. Even Glenn Campbell didn't play a whole. It wasn't. He's almost on the satellite of the record, but he did play. Yeah, he's on the fringe of that. Yeah. I forgot who the sax player was too. But that's all. Without looking at my notes, that's all I can think of.
So this is the list I have: Earl Palmer, Barney Kessel, Plas Johnson, Al Casey, Glenn Campbell, James Burton, Leon Russell,
James Burton,
Larry Knechtel, Jack Nitsky, Mike Melvoin. I wonder if he's related to Wendy Melvoin.
He might be. He might be.
Never know.
Prince, you know,
musical.
That's not a common name.
Yeah. No.
And Wendy Melvoin, for the people that might not know, is Wendy and Lisa from Prince and the Revolution. Don Randy.
Don Randy.
Al Delroy.
Big producer. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of these people are known for other things outside that too.
Billy Strange, Howard Roberts, Jerry Cole, Louis Shelton, Mike Deasy, Bill Pittman, Lyle Ritz, Chuck Berghofer, Joe Osborn, Ray Pullman, Jim Gordon, Chuck Findlay, Ollie Mitchell, Lou McCreary, Jay Migalori, Jim Horn, Steve Douglas, Alan Butler, Roy Caton, Jackie Kelso, and I'm sure there's a few I missed.
And Wendy is his daughter. I just confirmed
there you
it.
go.
Very cool.
Look
very
at
cool.
me.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Nice.
I plucked that one, baby.
You did it. Yeah.
Fucking.
Jesus. It's loud.
And we forgot the Ron Hicklin singers.
The Ron
Hicklin a lot of backups in there with the Ron Hicklin singers. The guy Plas Johnson you mentioned, he's the sax player. He's the guy playing the Pink. He played the Pink Panther theme. That's his
That's right.
His recording. Okay.
Yeah.
Don Randy played piano on Barry McGuire's Eve of Destruction. Al DeLory was a producer. A guy named P.F. Sloan played with them too. He went on to produce a lot of, it might have been some bubblegum stuff, Mark. But he's like with the Grassroots and things like that. He was a kind of a songwriter, Svengali. James Burton, famous Telecaster player.
Mm-hmm.
Played with Elvis, Rick Nelson. Scott, Mark, did you ever see that Roy Orbison special? Was it Roy and Friends, black and white show?
On Showtime, yeah.
Yeah, it's Roy, Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, Tom Waits. The old guy playing the Paisley Telecaster is James Burton.
James Burton, yeah.
Great player.
Yeah.
One of those chicken picking guys, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Tommy Tedesco, great guitar player. Did you see the Wrecking Crew doc?
Not yet.
Okay.
I didn't do my homework. I didn't do my homework.
Okay. He amongst other things, he played on the Batman theme. That's him playing the Batman guitar.
Really?
And Bonanza, that's Tommy Tedesco. Doing that signature riff. What is that song? The Sinatra song with Nancy? Something Stupid. All that Spanish guitar.
Tommy.
He's in that. There's a funny, when you see the documentary, there's a funny segment when he went on to the he did the Gong Show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He played what was he? He's
wearing a ballerina tutu.
Yeah, I forget what he called himself. And he ended up winning.
The former something greatest guitar, the former something whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he went by his real name.
Yeah.
Like he gave himself like a moniker, and then Tommy Tedesco, right?
Yeah. They meant the Wrecking Crew movie was made by his son. So he's featured pretty prominently in it. But I like the fact I said, like, they often got his name wrong. I can understand that very well, by the way.
I still get your name wrong.
I'm going to give a shout out to the guitar bar. One time the owner's on there. He's a great guy, He's like, tonight we've got Jimmy Anderson and we got Lou Costello on drums. I'm like, Abbott and fucking Costello. Hey, Abbott!
How many times were you called Lou Calicchio?
All my life.
Your whole life, yeah.
I introduced the Music Relish podcast, and I said that. Remember that?
Yeah, right. You did. I'm
doing it, and I see Lou go.
Son of a bitch, man.
I go, oh.
Looks at the camera.
My last name is spelled wrong because my grandfather came through Ellis Island. They added an L and dropped a C, so it's supposed to be Colicchio, which is, most people would see that and go Calicchio, but they see the way it's spelled incorrectly. Actually, no, they think it might be. So they get a pass.
You know who did that? The Irish guy did that.
Yeah,
the Irish customs guy.
Where you from, son?
The Irish immigration guy.
And this Irish guy with the last name Smith.
Yeah, really. The last name should be Avellino.
Okay. So Dave Phillips just messaged in. Glenn Campbell and Leon Russell did a lot of work together. There's a YouTube video of them together. Yeah. I think a lot of them kind of did stuff together. Some of them went, some went solo.
Yeah.
Right.
When Glenn Campbell went solo, the Wrecking Crew played behind him.
Yeah.
So I saw, and I think this is incorrect because I know with Jim Gordon's, because we did on Music Relish, we spoke about Jim Gordon last week. Some of his singles that he played on, there's some inconsistencies because I saw it today. It said he played on Wichita Lineman, and I believe that's Hal Blaine because I read where Hal Blaine played on every hit version of Wichita Lineman, all the versions in that time period. He played on every one, but I don't think that's Jim Gordon on Wichita Lineman. Maybe some percussion, but there's some inaccuracies there though.
Let me check.
But like the beginning of Wichita Lineman, boom, that's Carol Kaye.
Yes,
that was her. So it was just and they said in the documentary, they kind of made fun because he was a singing star and they didn't sing.
Right,
and he did.
Yeah, but he was a great guitarist. But then he went away from the instruments to be a singer. He carried the guitar. He would play but he wasn't a guitarist,
right?
Singing.
Yeah,
he was a singer with a guitar.
Yeah, I'm sure there's.
That's how they promoted him, I guess.
Oh, big star.
Yeah,
I think the guy Jim Horn you mentioned. I think he's the guy who played with George Harrison a lot.
Oh yeah,
I think.
Well, some of the musicians that they played with, you have, they were a huge part of Phil Spector's Wall of Sound. Mm-hmm. Like they were pretty much the Wall of Sound. And I was again texting back and forth with my friend Phil Kelly today, and I kind of came to the conclusion that without the Wrecking Crew, Phil Spector would not have been as popular or as great as he became. I think
I would have to agree,
because where else are you going to find because he used them constantly. He said he was very regimental. Like
you can create a wall of sound with audio, but you got to have the right players to do that. They got to be playing.
They have to know what they're doing with
can't make
each other.
A wall of sound with teenagers playing.
And they did it like fucking just like they just walk right in and just like they could pick up. But he was like brutal on them. He would make them do like 20 takes of a song.
Yeah.
Right. Till they get it perfect. Like each time, and it would grind them down.
Yeah.
And there's the story that who was it? It was the Lou, help me out with this one. Who was the guy? I think he was a drummer. So the drummer, and Spector was just brutal on him, and he just said, "You know what? Fuck you, fuck you," and he walked out. They said no one ever walked out on Phil Spector, production.
Did this guy go on to be successful?
Yeah, he did. I think they were just like, Jesus, I can't believe he did that.
Wow.
He basically said, "Fuck you. I've had enough of your shit." And he picked up his shit, fucking just left. Like, I don't need this shit.
Well, he was probably one of the older guard, more jazz players, and like I said, they wasn't going to have that worry. And they said one thing about the Wrecking Crew, they were open minded to it.
He was with the Wrecking Crew.
He was okay.
Yeah, he was one of that firm group that he always had.
I'm thinking of the list of drummers there. I just can't.
I'm not sure if it was the drummer. I want to say it was the drummer, but he just had enough of Phil Spector's lunacy.
Yeah,
and finally just kind of ripped into him and left. And you know what? These guys though, they were all making fucking big money.
Yeah,
big money. Like they were doing. In the morning, they'd be at A&M Records. Then in the afternoon, they're at Tower Records. And then at night, they're at Columbia Records.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they were just constantly in this, like rotating from studio to studio. And that's just the big one. There's the little studios too that they could do 4 sessions in one day. It's like some of these guys.
And part of the reason why is, Phil Spector had the time and the power to make you do 20 takes. Some of these other things, like you said, you got a 4 o'clock recording day. You got to nail that in a couple takes.
Yeah.
Well,
so that was one of the advantages because they could all sight read music, so they can come in, look at the charts, and
that's what I was going to bring up, Lou. Is that what amazes me about session musicians? I tried to read music, and it takes me an hour to get one measure. And
I understand
that you go into a studio and you don't even know what the song. It's 1964. They didn't send you a CD ahead of time, or they can't text you an MP3.
Cold.
You walk in cold. You're looking at notes, and you've got to put that in your brain and make it a take, and then do it in a half hour, maybe, or an hour.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing.
So I think it's kind of it's built with experience, but these guys came in already pretty much experienced.
Yeah.
They had already made their bones together, right? They all came up together. It's like, okay, I was a dog handler for 32 years, right? I started from not knowing even how to put a fucking choke chain on a dog correctly. By the time I'm done, you can just give me a dog. Give me any fucking dog. And I'll make that dog work for me. It could be spitting fucking mad, or it could be a dog that's just one of those dogs just sits there, right? But I did it so much, and I just knew my craft so well that you could just give me a dog, and people are like, "How the hell did you get him to do that?" Just because I knew how to do it. I knew how to deal each situation. These guys could walk into a studio and know the situation, know what they have to do, and fucking just get, and plus time is money.
Yeah.
I got more money to make at the next fucking studio tonight. Yep. I got to be there at 8 o'clock.
Yep. And they're getting paid because they're all union members too.
Yeah.
Local 47, I think it was the AFW, whatever, 47 in Los Angeles. So, they were taken care of.
Yeah.
Also, there's an abundance of such talent, though. I mean, that's one thing. You be able to sight read, but these guys were just so good on their own to begin with. They could just walk in and they had the feel for it, and they were so tight. They played together. I think they go back to the late 50s. I think Hal Blaine, Earl Palmer, and some other guy that I wasn't aware of. They knew each other. They played together. They had a little core going. The nucleus of it, the genesis before they were even famous.
Right.
They were probably playing strip clubs and doing what they had to do because they're all family people. They weren't. None of them were stars except for
no. Tommy Tedesco said he'd be out all night doing sessions, and he'd come home in the morning, and he'd see his son. His son would be off to school. His son would come home. Yeah. He's out doing sessions, but he said, I had to make the money. I had to make that money. I mean,
in Cincy, they were paid well, and they had to scramble a bit. I mean, the way Hal Blaine talks, especially when he got divorced, he goes, "I had millions." That's a rough. I mean, he doesn't go into detail, which is good, but he went from riches to friggin' rags. It looks like he said he was working as a security guard.
Yeah, so he was actually working with John Denver, making $5,000 a week. This is in the 70s. $5,000 a week in the 70s is a fucking lot of money.
That is a lot of money. Yeah, it was.
And then he said all of a sudden it was gone.
Yeah.
Like the gig was up. He did it for a while. He did it for like, I don't know, 2 years or something.
Wow.
I don't know what John Denver was touring and, whatever, and making albums. And he wasn't part of his band. He was a hired gun like they all are.
So he was a touring drummer at that point.
I believe so. Yeah. I would think so. Unless, I don't think John Denver was doing, 7 nights at Caesars,
right.
or, he's there for a year, at Caesars. I don't think they were really doing. Wayne Newton was the only one really doing that back then.
Yeah, he didn't have a residency like we have.
That's right. See, I give residencies. John Denver doesn't.
The accommodation
John Denver.
First class. Yeah.
See.
All right, so throw John Denver in with Phil Collins.
That's right. That's right. That cheap. Well, he wasn't cheap. He was paying those guys, but he didn't give out residencies.
Right. Maybe Hal was making too much money at that point.
He was loaded. He said he had everything: boats, cars, houses, everything. And then, unfortunately, he got married in California. Evidently,
yes,
and that was his mistake.
He said she took everything. I mean, it sounds like literally everything. He goes,
yeah,
probably enough to live on. But if you can plan to do Ron and make money from that, and then you're a security guard. But yeah, and as far as royalties go, here's that murky period. We always get in this thing. All those guys that played on Do Ron, Help Me Rhonda, like, do they still make, if they're alive? I mean, were they making mechanical royalties on that, or was it just a fee?
I think with the union, it may have been a one-time fee. Because they're not writers, they didn't write the songs, they didn't get involved with publishing.
Right, but with publishing, there's mechanical royalties. I think of people who've played on it. I think,
and a mechanical royalty is you played on it mechanically, so you get some kind of. I guess it's what the contract you have.
It might be a drop in the bucket, but it's a drop.
It's a constant income.
If you do 1,000 sessions, it adds up.
Well, think how many times "Be My Baby" has been played.
Yeah. That's like. What's the Baby It's Cold Outside? Who wrote that? I forget. Was it that wrote that?
Cole Porter or something? No.
Somebody, whether he wrote it or whoever wrote it, their family, I heard a thing because a couple Christmases ago they started saying, oh, it's rapey, and the left got all crazy over it. And then you have that Pussy John Legend, that beta male fucking does a well, he did an updated, the updated version, the non-rapey version. Meanwhile, the girl's asking for it. Literally, right?
So she wants her to talk him into coming inside for another drink.
It was written by Idina Menzel. Yeah.
So every year, and it's like Dean Martin sang it, right? And I think he gets royalties. Like every year at Christmas, it's like they get this barrage of money.
Right. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
And then it just disappears. Like they make this one income from November to January, enough to support you for the whole year plus.
It's like the ultimate mall Santa job,
Yeah. You just sit back and just let the money come. Oh, November 1st. Here
it comes. Right.
What do you want for Christmas, Lou?
Right.
What do you want this year?
Even Soul Town on XM becomes Holiday Soul for that period.
Yeah.
So it's just raking the money.
Yep.
Well, that's the great thing about publishing. I mean, I'd want that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Come on, keep it coming.
Yeah.
You can't work forever.
By the way, Lou.
Yes.
According to the internet, and we know that everything is correct on the internet, Jim Gordon did play drums on Wichita Lineman. So.
He did.
Yeah.
Drums?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You thought it was Hal Blaine. I thought you
did.
Yeah,
I thought I read where Hal Blaine played on every hit version of that.
I can't.
Well, this could be wrong. This is Wikipedia. You never know.
I can't believe you just called Lou out live.
He called me a liar.
I can't believe you couldn't wait until after the show.
And I mispronounced his name.
And,
really.
You just are you trying to knock him down a peg?
Yeah,
I mean, Mark, what are you doing here, buddy?
By the way,
Lou, I wouldn't take it, Lou. I wouldn't take it.
What can I do?
During the
You'll
pot
get 'em.
there, Scott.
What can I do? I get it.
You'll
I'll
get him during
will.
this podcast. You will get revenge,
will.
Lou.
I'm a patient man.
If I have to help you set him up, because I still owe him a
Yeah,
stir in
that's
the
right.
pot.
That's right.
During the fucking his messaging in.
We
Still owe
Italians are
him.
patient. We wait for
I
our
don't
revenge.
forget. I don't. And my payback is never done.
I thought I did the green room. Come on.
Nah, you'll get the green room a couple times.
I don't, Lou. I don't know if
Tonight,
you
I'm
know. I
sure.
don't know if you know this, Lou, but that's Jim Gordon on Wichita Line, man.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Oh, there's going to be a phone call tomorrow. I know.
You're gonna get a really angry text at like 1:30 tonight.
Well, gentlemen, I just got a text from Phil Kelly, and he says he's sending me texts during the live stream. Says, "Whoops, I'm sorry. I know you're podcasting. Say hi to Lou and Mark for me." Yeah,
Hey, Phil.
There you
Hey,
go.
Phil.
There you go. He listens. He always gives me the critiques. He always gives me the critiques the next day.
Hey, Scott.
Does he correct
Who-
you like Mark corrects me?
No.
Okay.
That's
He's
He's a
hardcore.
good friend.
Which friend of yours last week we were talking about George Jones from Texas?
AJ Gillinger from Grapevine, Texas.
I listened to that album that he recommended. It was great.
Yeah.
Really good. So
He's a big that big country boy right there.
Texas.
I don't think he was too happy though the other night on the Country Music Awards. I think there's something went a little left on that show at
that's
one
the
point.
New country. I don't like new country.
I think they had some of them trans men up there singing and dancing. I think they like that shit.
As a backup or as a feature
I
artist?
think there was a lot of beer bottles getting thrown at TV screens the other night.
Lots of bush light hitting
A
the
lot
screen.
of Bush Light.
Do you know what BLM stands for? Bush Light Matters.
Bush Light matters. Mark can't say anything yet.
No, try not to get the giggles because then I get the freaking hiccups and then I can't do anything.
I want wine to come out of your nose. I
Yeah,
know
you'll
you.
get it. You'll get it soon.
Bush Light matters. Bud Light matters. Yeah. All right.
I saw
All
that
right,
at a
that's-
beer koozie on Facebook Marketplace. I said, that's pretty funny.
So
Funny is funny.
some of the musicians, back to the Wrecking Crew. Some of the musicians they played with, Phil Spector helped construct his wall of sound. And by the way, we were talking about earlier. I forget what the reference was, but the fact that the Wrecking Crew was the Beach Boys.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I was looking at my Pet Sounds, and
Right,
Hal Blaine
right.
is on almost every song except for a couple. Jim Gordon plays on one song, but
They are pretty much the Beach Boys, and no one knew it. And see, that's another
right.
amazing thing about them. Nobody knew this. The Monkees,
No.
they were the Monkees. They were
The
again the
Grassroots.
Beach Boys. They were
The
let's
Byrds.
see.
They were the Byrds on the first couple songs.
They were the Mamas and the
Man.
Papas. They were Harry Nilsson, right? The Sam Cooke, the Carpenters, the
Yeah.
Ronettes, Simon
Cooke.
and Garfunkel, Frank Sinatra, Nancy Sinatra.
so Karen Carpenter didn't play drums on those early albums.
Oh no, there's no way. You know what? I don't know. I'd have
Because
to
I
say
always
that.
heard she was a very good drummer. Like,
She was
great.
actually in like 75, I think it was, or 70. She was voted maybe one of the best drummers in the world. Like
Wow.
she was on the cover of like Newsweek or something. I remember that. She was
I don't know if she
phenomenal
did-
drum player.
I don't know if she did any session work for the Carpenters.
I don't think she's
Yeah.
taking a back seat on the drums. I think she was just that good.
I mean, do you think
really
she
was
played
that
on
good.
the? I don't think she did drum on any of those hits though.
No, but I don't think the drumming on those hits are really that important to really.
They're good and tasteful. You know, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it was about her voice and the arrangements.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Lou,
Yeah.
you didn't know, but no, just joking.
Did you, now, Joe? Part of on the Mamas and Papas, part of the genius of Hal Blaine is that on the song "I Saw Her Again."
Yeah.
I saw her again. There's that part, and they go, "I saw her again." They fucked up. They jumped the line, and Hal Blaine knew it. All he did was he went on that ride cymbal. He said, "Get back in the corral, get back in line." And they all
Wow.
came back. So when they look back, Lou Adler was the producer on that. He's in the
Right.
documentary. He's wearing the Disney hat.
yeah.
He just said they kept it. I mean, they kept that's a huge fuck up, really. And think about it in terms of some other producer would have thrown the sheets up in the air and they made him do it again. but it just worked.
And Hal Blaine kept it together.
Yeah, but he heard it, he knew it, and he just said, "Oh, I'm gonna just keep going to that." But he was also known for the some of those early Herb Alpert songs. Whatever.
Yeah.
The
dating game.
The dating game. Yeah. Yeah, but he
not
kept
too old, not too young to remember that show.
No,
it was reruns, Mark. Because
yeah, I know.
So I'm going to relate something again to what I used to do. So that mistake, right, that nobody knows happens except for them in the studio, we would do canine demos, attack work. We get the sleeve and we'd set up scenarios and sometimes one of us would fuck up. You either let the dog go too early, or you let the dog go too late, or you didn't stop when you were supposed to stop. But we knew it was a fuck up. But if you're watching, you're just like, wow, dogs are amazing. Like they don't see it. And I used to tell my guys that, like, don't worry about mistakes. They don't know. They don't know we're making a mistake.
Yep.
Because we can cover it up.
Yeah.
We can make it work in the scenario that we're doing for the, it's a public, the public we'd do it for schools, or we would do it for, base commander and his guests and shit like that. So these guys in the studio, Hal Blaine probably listened to that and said, no, let this go. It fucking works.
It did not lose its rhythm. If it did, they probably would not have done it.
Exactly. There you go.
I think we tend to exaggerate our own mistakes. Like if I hit a bad simple note, I'm like, but I've learned, like, don't make a face like you made a mistake, because if you do it, because there's a video of me, I went like that just because I thought it was terrible. It was so insignificant. It wasn't great, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. But the face I made was let people know I made a mistake. So you weren't like, shit, I let the dogs out.
Who let the dogs out?
You did. So were you wearing the sleeve, or do you let the dog go?
What's that? I did both.
They both, yeah.
Yeah, I was a decoy, and when someone else is handling their dog, that's why my shoulders are all
right
up.
Yeah,
I swear I'm like a
pulling, man.
Yeah, I'm like a retired athlete. Every night my shoulders are sore. I get aches and pains every day.
You're like an old drummer.
Right. And it's all repetition, right? It's all repetitive stuff. It's it's
strained, it's pulling,
But I look at these injuries, and I said, it's funny we're talking about this, because I said to my wife last night, as a matter of fact, I said, I'm just resigned to the fact that I'm going to be sore every day. I don't have knee, ankle, foot.
That's good.
Thank God, problems, lower back a little bit. Yep. But I also said in the same breath, but I would not give these battle scars away for anything. I would not give these aches and pains up for anything. I earned these fucking aches and pains.
Yes, that's right.
Doing that job, doing such a different, totally fucking different kind of job. But so in talking about drummers, like, look at Phil Collins, he's a mess.
Yeah.
But is that all from drumming, or is that just
no? It's not. It's not. I think
not.
it's from falling down drunk a lot.
Well, he did say in his autobiography on that one tour he broke his foot. And they kept the tour going, and he shot himself so much with steroids, like such levels that it weakened his bones. That could be true,
Like Prince in his feet.
Steroids do that.
Yeah.
Erode your bone. I mean, the drumming too, like, it's shoulders. I'm now at 61. I'm learning how to sit up straighter now.
Yeah,
so I'll get this.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
the hump. You don't want that hump.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Every once in a while, you'll see me do that. I'll sit up straight in this chair. Because
I get that across the back of my shoulders. I get this like nerve. It's nerve pain is what it is.
So Daniel Basham just said, "Getting old ain't for pussies." Yeah, that's right. Old musicians got it rough.
Right.
Mark's fingertips hurt. He's like, I go to drink my tea.
The guitar player,
and my fingertips hurt.
Listen.
My fingertips, holding that pick is so hard.
Listen,
I'm telling you, don't underestimate the pick.
Yes, no,
Scott.
Yes. From my broken femur, my hips all fucked up. Okay?
Don't underestimate the pick. Thank you very much. The pick in my fingertips. You know how many times I had to file my fingernails down because that pick would slip?
Or I lose my
Jesus.
pick. Where the hell's my
I'm gonna
pick? Oh
take
my
another
God.
solo now.
What? I have to do. I have to play a solo. Son of a bitch! Give me another pick.
Guitarists have sore foreheads because we're always doing this. Oh, damn it! When I did the solo, last Lou, when I did that.
Well, drummers do it with the drumstick. They're not smart enough to use the palm of their.
Right. I was taking lessons from this guy. He was a good teacher, and he did this one thing. He stuck the stick right in his eyeball.
Ooh!
I almost heard a wet sound. It was just, it was like I was throwing. And the end of the lesson, he tried carrying on.
Jesus
Was it
Christ.
like this?
It was hard.
Like
It was
that
hard.
sound?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to name some of the TV shows that that the Wrecking Crew or members of the Wrecking Crew were on. So you have, let me see. Well, Tommy Tedesco, right? He introductions. He did Twilight Zone,
Cool.
Green Acres, Bonanza, MASH, Batman, Mission Impossible, and Hawaii Five-0, along with film scores from Born Free and one other one. I don't know what that. I can't.
What's that?
I
One other one. I
missed-
remember that movie.
No, I missed. I put it on my list, and it's like just a letter. I didn't.
Could it have been
complete it.
Three's Company? What didn't? That's like.
Well, maybe it would, I'm sure they like the bass. Carol Kaye. I'm sure she played on TV shows also.
Yeah. Hal Blaine's the drummer on the Three's Company theme.
Oh, coming out. Yeah, good song.
It's very drum prominent too.
hmm
But by that point, that's when their work was starting to dry up.
Yeah,
It's gone to the 70s.
and they, some of them handled it well, and some of them didn't. But then they realized that they were the youngsters coming in.
hmm
They were the ones that took over the industry.
Yep.
They dominated, and just like the people that the guys and ladies that, well, it was mostly guys, that they bumped out. Well, their time also came.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they were kind of, now they're left like, these
And-
guys that thrived decades.
A lot of those artists too. A lot of bands came in self-contained, so it got
Yeah,
to the point where
that's what it was.
Genesis, the Eagles, they were their own bands. They didn't need the extra musicians.
Rock and roll killed the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, think about it. Really
It
did.
did. Rock and roll killed the Wrecking Crew, and a lot of them couldn't adjust to that. There was a lot of them that didn't know how to play rock. They didn't understand it. They didn't get it. Some of them did. What's his name? The black guy. He was what instrument did he play?
Earl Palmer, the drum. No.
I think it might have been Earl Palmer. And he said I hated it. I hated playing that.
Right.
Because I hated playing that stuff, but it made me money.
Yeah. Well, and what he said, he goes, I acted like it was my favorite music.
Yeah.
That's
but
how
I hated it.
he psyched himself into it. But I mean, the guy's amazing. He's the drummer on the Mission Impossible theme.
Yeah.
So for someone that hated rock and roll, or even like some of the fat stuff.
Well, it was the job, right?
Oh yeah.
It's the job.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all have jobs. I've done overtime jobs that I fucking
yeah.
hated, but getting paid for it.
I have a musical job. It's I get a paycheck once a month. It's involves rehearsal, and it's getting more complicated now, which is kind of cool.
Really? In what
more,
way?
more intense. Well, we're playing 8 songs a service now. So
Okay.
what is
Wow.
I get the music on Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday I rehearse at home by myself, and there's vocal arrangements too because I'm one of the backup singers. So it's interesting.
So-
it's
Putting your time in. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Is it always different music every week?
We have an opening song and a closing song we'll do for a month, and we have like guests. We have a main musical director, a friend of mine, David Washington. Then we have twice a month we have another two of the ladies come in, and they're keyboard players and singers, and they're solos people in their own right. One of them is pretty well known in spiritual circles, so she's doing it this weekend, Amy Steinberg. But so they'll come in with some of their own material. We do some covers of stuff, but we're playing some reggae. We did some kind of country stuff. We did for 2 instrumental preludes. We did "Ripple" by the Dead Mark
In a church.
in a
That's
church.
great. That's awesome.
And we had a guest violinist coming, a guy named Paul McIntyre, who I've jammed with before. The guy's amazing.
Mm.
So we did "Ripple" and "Country Roads" by John Denver instrumentally.
There you go.
It's interesting. When I took the gig, I was like, this might be kind of hokey. You know what I mean?
I have a friend of mine that
Maybe
does
songs
that.
like "Let Me Touch Him."
Oh,
Nothing
I
like
knew that was coming. I knew it.
yeah.
But it's been some pretty interesting stuff.
I have a friend of mine that does that. He's Jewish. They have in Miami. There's a synagogue in Miami. Him and some guys. They call themselves the Wrecking Jews.
That's great. That is great. That's clever, man.
I couldn't help it.
You're kidding. That was a
I
joke.
am kidding.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyways,
I think you just gave someone an idea out there, though.
yeah.
I
As
see
long as
that.
they don't steal the Rage Against the Cafe idea,
The
they
word
can
Jew-
have that.
And the word Jew is not a slur. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I got a lot of Jewish friends. And happy Passover, by the way, to all my Jewish friends.
Yeah,
Mazel tov.
me too. Mazel
Mazel
tov.
tov. Yeah.
Kinky Friedman and his Texas Jew boys. Come on.
There you go. There you
What's
go.
this,
Yeah.
Lou? What was
all-
the most
it's all
famous
relaxed.
song? They don't make Jews like Jesus anymore. That was a
Yeah.
great song.
Hey, you know what? When I come back in 2 weeks, we can do a show on Jewish music. It'll be about 12 minutes long, and then we'll just be done.
Well, maybe Jewish. I think
Jewish
it's
rock and roll, like Jewish
like
rock.
Jewish based, like
songs. Yeah, songs related to. No, that could get. That
When
could get
I
ugly.
was in mastering,
No,
there was a guy. He was a guitar player. He wailed like Jimi Hendrix, and he was Orthodox. And he put out these albums where it would be Jewish music, and he'd be wailing over the top. And he was a damn good guitar player.
Wow.
I can't remember his name now, but
some of that klezmer music. That's got that shredding clarinet. I mean, that stuff.
Yeah.
it
That's
moves
not
a
easy
lot.
stuff.
And if you know, what was that Supertramp had a song? It almost has like a klezmer part with the clarinet.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, Hal Blaine's really Hal Belsky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he anglicized the name.
All right. Daniel Batcham said, "Good night, gentlemen. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening." All right. So solo stars from there wasn't many that really kind of made it, right? So you had Glenn Campbell, you had Dr. John,
Leon Russell,
right?
Yep.
Those are probably the three biggest names that came out of that,
right?
But there was what's that?
As far as solo stuff, yeah, I think.
Yeah, but you had a lot of them go and play in mainstream bands too, right?
Yep.
So you had so Glenn Campbell played. He was with the Righteous Brothers, right? Let me see. So pianist Mac Rebenak,
Dr. John.
That's Dr. John.
Dr. John. Yeah. He played. Let me see. He went on solo. What am I looking at here? Sonny and Cher, Frank Zappa, and Dr. John. Leon Russell was only 16 when he came to LA to work as a session musician. Wow. 16.
Wow.
Right? That's like Joan Jett. She was 17 years old when she was in the Runaways. She was an emancipated teen.
Yeah.
And she had an apartment right across the street from the Roxy.
Wow.
Like on the second floor. And they said everybody that came into town, every band that came to town would stop up there. It was like a pre-show. She had like this. The door was never locked. It was always open.
Jesus.
Yeah, she was 17.
Wow.
A lot of partying. A lot of
that
hard
girl had lived a life.
Oh yeah. She's a true rock and roller.
Yeah, there was a picture of her and Billy Idol and I forget the other lady's name, other girl at the time, and they were all probably 19, 20. You know, just sitting around drinking like that. Wow.
Can I say something about Leon Russell?
Yeah.
You believe it or not, you're gonna find this pretty incredible. When I was really little, men with long hair scared the shit out of me, and my sister would hang out with these guys, long hair, and they scared me. Something about it. So I think it was her. Somebody had a Leon Russell album. That his face with that hair scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
He was a dangerous looking guy.
Yeah, Cousin It, right?
But Mark, I had a friend in high school. He goes, "I just want to grow my hair as long as Leon Russell's."
Did he make it?
I guess so.
I don't know. They graduated before it could get that long, but who knows?
But he did a lot of arranging for that stuff too. Not just as a keyboardist, but he's an arranger as well. So he'd put the pieces back together as they put the chorus over there and put the bridge over there.
That's a talent. That's a whole nother talent.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. He make a song great. Or
What do you think Tommy Tedesco's favorite crew-driven song is?
Be My Baby.
And that is such an open. I mean, it's a volume of answers.
It's a needle in a haystack. Be My Baby. If you play.
How about Don't Worry, Baby?
No, it was actually
Batman.
No, 1967, The Fifth Dimension, Up, Up, and Away.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Said that was his favorite song that they that he did, that he thinks that they did. Yeah. I mean, that song was like Song of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
That song won everything that year.
Oh, yeah, it did. It did.
You know,
that made them. That was their first big hit, I think.
Yeah. And that's probably why he's so attached to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Aquarius, we played that at the Spiritual Center.
Let the Sun Shine?
Oh, yeah. That's a heavy song.
There you go. Now you're getting hippie-ish, buddy.
Oh, yeah. There's some changes, but there's some rhythmic changes in that song. I mean, it's a great arrangement. But
yeah, there are rhythm changes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a pace, picks up the pace, right?
Right. That goes with the list of producers that they worked with, too.
Hey, here you go. Bring it on, buddy.
Spector. I mean, that guy, I think it was Bones Howe was the guy that produced the Fifth Dimension stuff. But there worked Brian Wilson. I mean, that guy. I mean, and Leon Russell, and the Wrecking Crew documentary, Leon Russell goes, that guy was a genius. None ever will come our way again.
And who was that? Phil Spector?
I said about Brian Wilson.
Oh, Brian Wilson. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, he goes. That was just a once in a lifetime occurrence that Brian Wilson was born and made that music. He goes.
He knew, and he was a young dude.
Yeah, he was a kid. Yeah,
he knew exactly what he wanted, and he was in there with these fucking monsters.
Oh yeah,
and was not intimidated one bit by them. Yeah. Like these guys had already been established. They are the Wrecking. They are the business. Yeah. They are the clique or whatever they wanted to call them, the First Call gang.
Yeah.
And he gets them together.
Yep.
Like they go to him.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's telling them what he wants.
Exactly what he wants.
Yep.
And they're like, what the fuck? This dude is like a genius.
Yeah. And it's hard. Most people, I didn't realize it as a kid either. The surf songs, they're pretty simple, but I didn't get, this, even back then, they're saying some of those chord progressions were unusual for that type of music.
Yeah.
But he was chasing Phil Spector. Brian Wilson, that was his reason for, he wanted to get that Phil Spector sound, so he ended up using all the same musicians.
His influence, he was influenced by him, but he absolutely, I mean, again, Pet Sounds is the what do you call it? The mock, right?
Yeah.
That was the mock. That's what set everything into motion. That set Sgt. Pepper's into motion, as the story goes, right?
Yeah.
That set everything into motion. Mm-hmm. That became the mock to beat.
Right. And but the Beach Boys fans didn't know that. It was just musicians and like God Only Knows was, people like that. But that was controversial too, because it wasn't surfing. He used the word God in it. In 66, but I mean, I think that record was alienating. The guys with Mike Love he hated it because he's an asshole.
I was just going to say, I'm looking at the cover.
I love bashing him. Let's bash him for a whole show.
Look, I'm looking at the cover right now, and they're feeding that animal.
Yeah,
Mike Love's like in the back, like I don't want to be here.
Yeah, this is stupid. Yeah,
this is stupid.
The first time I heard Good Vibrations, I was a kid. And that absolutely, and I don't know, maybe people like us, right? That just drawn to music is I'm not being, pompous or self-righteous. People like us were drawn to music at a young age.
Yeah. Right.
This is why in our 50s into our whatever, get about into our 60s, we could sit here and talk for hours about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? So we were drawn to music. I was telling my brother the other night, my brother Colin, that those 5 milk crates of albums that my father dropped off, it all had Property of Jim Smith inside the sleeves, right? And his name wasn't Jim Smith, right? That like a moth to a light, right? Yep. That was and he even said I spent more time in that beanbag listening to music than him or my other brother.
Wow. Yeah. Yep.
So
even though you're not a musician, you don't play an instrument, you understand maybe subconsciously how music works.
I do. Oh, yeah. Without being self-taught, I understand beats and rhythms and bridges and changes, and I hear them, right? And when I heard Good Vibrations, I could probably say I knew exactly how, and probably you guys too.
Yep.
And this isn't a bold statement. I'm not putting myself in that category, but I could probably say I felt the same exact way that Lennon and McCartney felt when they heard it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was like, whoa, this is like, except I was like the 12-year-old. This is, wow, that's so cool. Like you can't hear it enough.
I was
Oh, yeah.
maybe 7 years old, and my sister's Endless Summer, that compilation, and I put on, and I heard the opening to California Girls. Sorry, you know what I mean.
Well, that too, Mark.
Yeah,
Good
but that's that
vibrations.
opening, dun, 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 you know, and I was mesmerized. And here I am, a kid listening to ELP and Yes, and it was
And it
magical.
goes in like 5 different directions.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I was listening to it. It came on the radio, and I was with my wife. I said, listen to how, and I don't know if you guys have ever done that, like maybe talk to your wife or your girl.
Oh no.
So it kind of realized that, oh, nice.
Max Headroom's back in the studio.
Max Headroom is back.
Oh, fuck me.
I think
I
someone's
back
stealing
on?
your internet, man.
I'm back on again, right? Here I
Okay,
am.
yeah, you're fine.
Yeah,
you're
all right,
fine.
Yeah.
So like I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by Max Headroom.
Wasn't me.
It's the flea
That-
virus.
Yeah, it's the flea virus. That's it. I'm not a flea in your circus.
Evidently, I am.
I'm trying to like tell, like, so check and watch how this changes it. Wow, like, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and whoever you're telling it to is usually like, oh, that's good. That's good.
That's great.
Yeah, that's great. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. But yeah,
It's what he called his a pocket symphony. Good vibrations was he goes, I want to make it as a pocket. It was a little symphony.
it really
it
was.
is.
Yeah.
When everything drops out, and it's just got that electric piano, like keyboard.
Yeah. And so
that
A Day
whole-
in the Life was the Beatles version of Good Vibrations.
Yeah. And
And they love jumping into, and they always did that afterwards. Like you hear a lot of their songs start to go in different directions. Like Paul McCartney, a perfect example. And I've said this in the past, that these musicians, these bands that break up, and they have all this leftover music that really got done because either the band didn't think it was good enough or they never got a chance to present it. And I use Morrissey as an example. Like when he left the Smiths, he had all this music that he had written, all these songs. So I know supposed to be
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
expressions and that one goes in,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? And come back.
One of my favorite songs too.
Oh, it's such a great song.
It really is. It really is.
So that was Brian Wilson. That's all.
Yeah. He was
You have to think that.
Max Headroom is doing a lot of activity right now. If you're Paul McCartney played on one of the songs on the Smile record, the song Vegetables. I think it's a dumbass song.
What album is that on?
It's a Smile.
Oh,
It's
I got it right in front of me.
I'm gonna eat my vegetables. I'm gonna chow
Yeah.
my vegetables. It's dumb. I don't know who wrote the lyrics to that. That was
Probably Brian Wilson.
or it might have been Van Dyke Parks.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Well, Mark.
La
here we go.
Traviata, Lou. How does that opera go? Yeah.
It's in Italian. But you know that was the set they used. Wait, the set they used that on The Last Waltz.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Would you like to sing Michael McDonald doing La Traviata?
Oh my God. In Italian. Michael McDonald in Italian.
Now I know he's really frozen because I do not see his pinball machine going on and off.
Right. So so other producers that
He's laughing too.
that they did work with. We're carrying on here. Terry Melcher. He produced a lot of the 60s pop. He's Doris Day's son, Terry Melcher.
Really?
He was also one of Charlie Manson's targets.
Oh,
I think he was one of the first people he wanted to put on the list, but for some reason they didn't do it. Lou Adler.
Am I back?
Legendary.
you're back.
Your voice is back. You're back. He's back.
Yep. You're back.
Okay. So what were we talking about? Pavarotti? Is that what we were talking about?
La Traviata.
Let's try. Okay. All right.
And Rigoletto, the famous hunchback and opera singer. We went back to some of the producers I just mentioned, like Terry Melcher. He produced some Beach Boys. So I was saying to Mark, Terry Melcher was Doris Day's son and one of the original targets of the Manson family.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And let's see, there was Lou Adler, the legendary Lou Adler. He produced the Mamas and Papas, amongst others. Bones Howe produced the Fifth Dimension. Jimmy Bowen, I don't know what he did. And Mike Post. He did a lot of TV themes, didn't he?
Mike Post, yeah.
The Hill Street Blues and stuff like that.
He was around the 60s producing?
He was producing stuff in the 60s, yeah. Up until then. Yeah.
But he did do a lot of he did Hill Street Blues, Mike Post. He did, yeah.
He was the NBC guy for years, right?
Right.
Every NBC show, yeah.
Yep. And do you know Hal Blaine, to this day, has the record for having played on the most number one hits? Do you know the number? How many number one hit songs Hal Blaine has played drums on?
I'd say
unbeaten. It's unbeaten.
I'd say 57.
Nope.
I'm gonna say 58.
40.
I win.
You win.
Closer.
40,
Smart ass.
40 still pretty good.
You know what? Just for that cheesy move, you're in the box. There you go. I was looking for a reason to put him in. I was just looking for a reason.
Keep him in there.
He's in. He's in for 30 seconds, and if he gives me the finger in the green room, I can see him. he did it. Now he's in for another 30. Now he's sucking down his bottle of wine.
He's drinking out of the bottle.
Cap off. He's pounding it. Do it again, buddy. Do it again.
There we go.
There he is.
Oh my God.
Back in the box. Just had to get that on video. That's a video bite. That's a video.
Yep. We need to borrow that from Music Relish.
Oh yeah, you can have it. I'll make it tomorrow. Where is he now? Now he's gone. Oh, there he is. He's back again.
You don't hit his head.
Wait, I have to extend my pinky with Chardonnay, right? Yeah.
Oh, so he went from pounding the bottle to try to look classy with the glass.
When you want 30 more seconds, you remind me of that scene with Bender in The Breakfast Club. You want more? You got it, buddy. And he keeps getting more and more. Go ahead. Come on.
That's right. So some of the songs that the Wrecking Crew were on that people probably, like I said at the intro, if you didn't know them, you actually did know them. Yeah, you heard them way more than you think you did.
Even music novices that don't like music have heard them.
Yeah. Yep. Nancy Sinatra, These Boots Are Made for Walking, Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love with You, and Viva Las Vegas. Just the little hits, right?
Yeah. The Lonely Bull.
Jan and Dean, Surf City. Simon and Garfunkel's Mrs. Robinson. Sonny and Cher's I Got You, Babe, and the beat goes on. I think that was Carol Kaye, right? She designed that beat.
Yeah,
she designed that
rhythm. Yeah,
that rhythm. The Ronettes, Be My Baby. The Crystals, He's a Rebel. The Monkees, Last Train to Clarksville. They were another band that really had a hard time with accepting that this band is going to play your music.
Yeah.
You know, those guys with that. I mean, I can't think that they thought that they were that good. Mickey Dolenz said it right. He said, I knew what it was. I knew what this whole thing was. Those guys, not so much.
Right.
He kind of didn't say those exact words. Those guys, not so much. He goes, I knew this was a TV show when we were doing this.
Right.
But the other two had a hard time with it.
Yeah. And I think it's more Peter Tork and Mike Nesmith. I mean Nesmith was a legitimate songwriter.
Well, was there a tambourine player in the Wrecking Crew? I don't know. I think Davy Jones had that cornered.
Yeah, there was a guy named Gary Coleman. I think
tambourine.
Was he really? Yeah, he's the greatest tambourine player in the world.
Well, when you saw the Standing in the Shadows of Motown, I remember they had basically a tambourine player, and I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Until
you hear all those songs, it's so important. And the guy was just
Well, that's keeping a rhythm, right?
Oh, it was the foundation of a lot of the rhythm, but I just thought it was pretty interesting. Like I'm the tambourine player for the Funk Brothers. It's
right.
Kind of,
What instrument gets less respect, the harmonica or the tambourine?
Hopefully it's the harmonica. I have a problem with the harmonica sometimes. sometimes I don't want to hear it.
They were actually on Johnny Rivers.
That gets no respect at all. The trombone.
The trombone. Yeah.
The triangle.
The triangle. Well, I don't know. The triangle.
Trombone gets no respect.
Yeah. It's kind of fucked up when the cowbell gets more respect than the harmonica and the triangle and
It should get
the
more
tambourine. And the cowbell gets respect, man.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It gets respect thanks to Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Thanks to Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that the irony
He
is
put
that,
cowbell on the map for a generation.
and the cowbell is so quiet on that song. Don't Fear the Reaper. It's not loud. It's not like in the beginning of You Can't Do That by the Beatles. It's not even that.
Or
private.
Mississippi Queen, where
Really?
it is the intro.
or everything by Santana.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But because of that skit, to this day, when I hear it on the radio, I just go while I'm driving. I got to do it. You know.
Yeah. Everybody, I tell you, Christopher Walken made the cowbell huge for an entire generation.
Yeah.
The words, you can get a T-shirt that says "More Cowbell," and fucking people are going to comment on it. Guarantee somebody at least one a day is going to say, "I like that shirt."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if when it comes on the radio, like when they're in their cars, they got a joke about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right after that thing when he did that SNL, remember he did the Fatboy Slim video and he was dancing. That was,
Yeah.
He was cool. Christopher Walken was the coolest.
He still is.
Still is. Yeah.
Crazy cool.
Yeah.
Who's crazy cooler, him or Jack Nicholson? Think about that. I mean, everybody says Jack's great, but think about the fucking insanity that is in the way that both of them, their eyes, the way they look at you, the way that like Christopher Walken has just Jack Nicholson has a crazy look, right? He just can look at you with those crazy, shining eyes, right? And the shining and the smile. But Christopher Walken fucking looks right through you.
Yep.
Like he sees your soul.
And he knows what happened to Natalie Wood.
Oh, he absolutely knows.
He knows what happened that night.
He's the kind of motherfucker that's like, and I'll take it to my grave with a smile.
Absolutely. Robert Wagner threw her off the boat.
Yeah. Yeah, they were having a fight. He might have been in the other, like in the fucking galley.
Yeah.
Fucking Robert Wagner pushes her off. She drowns. Christopher Walken's like, I got your back.
Oh, God.
I got your back. What was the joke? The only wood that can't float.
Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
I remember that.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. What's worse, that joke or she ain't heavy, she's my sister? Darren Carpenter.
Oh. But Natalie Wood was she was hot.
Yeah. And then she cooled off in the water.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, it's bad.
I could keep going.
I'm not feeding you.
I'm not a flea in your circus.
You know what I think my favorite Christopher Walken line is?
What?
This watch was in your father's ass.
Yeah. He eventually died of dysentery, but before he died, he gave me this watch.
Young Butch.
Yeah. Now I give it to you.
Wins an Oscar for his very first movie role.
That one?
No.
Deer Hunter.
Deer Hunter. Oh, very first movie.
Best supporting actor.
Yeah. Just saw a clip from King of New York.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I've never watched that all the way through. I really got to watch it. Yeah.
How come? What is wrong with
bits
you?
and pieces. Never got to watch it. I really got to do it. Yeah.
So you just like, you're that guy?
Yes. But I've watched the Deer Hunter.
Well, you know what? I've never seen a Rambo movie.
Really?
Never.
First one. I only like the first.
I've seen the first one in bits and pieces enough to know that it can. I kind of figured out what happened, but the Wrecking Crew was actually on the 1972 Johnny Rivers hit
Rockin' Pneumonia and the Boogie Woogie.
There you go, buddy. I had the 45.
Hey, Scott.
They're also on Johnny Rivers' Mountain of Love.
Yeah.
That the Replacements ripped off.
What's up, Mark?
On your list, do you have Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra?
It's on there.
That seems weird that they would be on that.
I know they played a lot with Frank Sinatra.
Yeah,
Really?
and Something Stupid
Yeah.
with Frank and Nancy.
Yep,
Wow.
that's right. That's right.
They were that.
And they did. They were in that fucking totally ridiculous song, MacArthur's Park.
That's
MacArthur
right.
Park.
That's right.
Written by
Jimmy Webb.
There you go. Who also wrote?
Oh, Wichita Lineman.
There you go.
Yeah,
man.
Among many.
Connect the dots.
Who wrote River Deep Mountain High? Oh, Jeff Barry and Ellie Greenwich. That was Phil Spector's that was his first flop.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the Wrecking Crew played on that.
They yeah. He thought for sure it was going to be a huge hit.
Yeah.
You know, with all these guys on it and everything, and it just didn't.
My theory is if Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell sang that, it would have been a hit. It would have been a smash.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of Tina Turner's voice. So I heard part of the end of it today. It's funny how we keep mentioning all these songs, and like I drive home a lot, and I catch like the tail end, or these songs pop up.
Right.
Yeah, they were talking about them. But I heard the ending of it. But I said something about the voice. It's just I don't know.
So somebody posted a picture the other day of Tina Turner, and they're like, you know, oh, I don't know. I never thought she was that pretty, right? She had a great body, slamming body, looking, but I never thought she was that pretty. But if you put her next to Chaka Khan blows her a fuck away.
Oh yeah.
Like absolutely, like not even in the same ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tina had this thing where she was an older woman that was attractive, and you know her.
But she was younger when she was younger. I just didn't. I just didn't think she was attractive. I think she had a great body. She could dance and she could sing, and the screeching, that screaming voice that her is. And,
I'm like that with Janis Joplin a lot too.
Oh, I can't stand Janis Joplin. That dude, I can't stand that dude.
Man's a pistol tonight.
Can't stand that dude.
A loaded gun tonight.
Really can't. Did get voted ugliest man in her sorority.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm researching the Wrecking Crew over here. Oh, they were on Never My Love by the Association.
Yep. Oh, and Windy by the Association.
Half-Breed.
Everyone knows it's Wendy.
San Francisco by Scott McKenzie.
Oh, not to be confused with the Village People's the song San Francisco, which is a great fucking song, by the way.
I don't know it.
I don't know if you've you want to, again, very unbelievably produced album, but that song San Francisco, that was kind of that's kind of what launched them. It was like the B-52s Dance This Mess Around, right? Was the song that kind of everybody, like nobody had ever heard anything like that before. Yeah. But Rock Lobster was the song that kind of sent them to the next level. So with the Village People, if you listen to the song San Francisco and just put everything aside, just put it that it's disco, that it's this Village People, everything you know, just put it all aside and listen to the song. It's a fucking great song. It really is a good song. I mean, they got like Culture Club, they got kind of they became a what do you call it, of them, a caricature of themselves.
Yeah.
Right? They just, we got to capitalize on this, so we're gonna just have you start singing shit music.
Yeah.
You know, campiness and
right. Then there was the SNL parody
of
the Village Persons.
Oh, the Village Persons, yeah.
Do you remember the name of the song?
Oh.
Bend Over Chuck Berry.
Whoa, they wouldn't do that today.
Was that the original cast, or was that?
Yes, it was. John Belushi was the Indian. Garrett Morris, of course, was the cop singer. I think Bill Murray was the cowboy. Dan Aykroyd was the leather daddy.
He probably looked great.
He looked a star. Yeah, he almost looked too much the part.
His mustache.
I got a friend. He's gay, and that's fine. He was stationed with us in the Philippines. I love him. I love my buddy, but he looks like the fucking cowboy in the Village People. He does. He does like the cowboy. So somebody's popped up on YouTube and says this podcast appeared random. Well, it can be random. We try to stay on subject sometimes, but we don't really.
What were we talking about? Oh, the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, the Wrecking Crew. Yeah, that was like 20 minutes ago. Yeah.
Does it appear to be random, or did it appear to this individual?
Probably just popped up random on YouTube. I don't really like.
That's how Perry found you.
Yeah, and that's the way I kind of like it. I don't try to grow it. I try to keep it organic and see who stumbles on it. Because again, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this to try to make it, a big podcast. I just like seeing people to kind of stumble, and if they like it, they usually keep listening. So yeah, they did. Let me see. Along with again, the Wrecking Crew did a shitload of Beach Boys songs.
Oh yeah,
after a while, right?
Hundreds of top 40s. They did Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
See that, and you think that's only Tiny Tim and a ukulele?
No, it's a
Right?
band. Right.
Maybe
right.
him live, but there's always a backing track.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You know,
Lou, they did your song "Spanish Flea" by Herb Albert.
That's
Spa-
You want to
Not a flea in
All
your
right, you're not
circus.
letting up, man. That's the truth. Yeah.
He's-
Well, you see, that it was called Spanish Fly originally, but Herb Alpert's like, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
not-
you know,
not-
he said it
not
was a
gonna
little
pass
too
standards.
risque. He didn't want to
Yeah.
get caught up with the spiking the woman's the
Right.
rape drug.
really.
What was in that thing, anyways? What's in a Spanish Fly?
Who knows? But wasn't
I wouldn't know.
the flip side would be
Wait, Mark said that a little too. Like,
Yeah,
I
really.
don't know. What are you asking me for? I don't know.
just Mark administering it. I think the flip side of that song was called Saltpeter. Never heard about that.
But he doesn't get the green room. That's
You know
not
what?
fair.
Just for trying to throw Lou under those, you get the penalty box again in the box.
I love it.
Just for trying
I
to
love
throw Lou under the bus. Now he's giving me 2 fingers.
He
He's in
seems to
30
have some-
seconds.
Yeah, what's going on with him tonight?
Well, you saw him pounding that one. He was pounding, buddy.
That's why it's
Mark was ready.
he's getting surly now.
This is actually giving him time to do research and find more songs that.
Right.
He's got 7 seconds. Hold on. 6, 5, 4, 3, 1, and I'm gonna go 3 extra seconds. 1, 2, 3. And he's got a cigarette in his mouth now. Look at him.
I'm writing down notes.
He's
I'm
got a
writing down notes.
cigarette. He's smoking cigarettes like John Belushi on
This is my
crack.
10. Come on.
Indoors.
Yeah.
They did a lot of Linda
cool, man.
Ronstadt, huh? Yeah.
You know that's Hal Blaine playing the drums to Dizzy by Tommy Rowe.
Oh yeah. That song Dizzy. Yeah, that was a big hit.
Yeah, 1969. But that's in a TV commercial now.
I think we talked about that. Yeah, about
Yep.
I don't know, a little while back. So what else you got, Lou? You got any good did you knows about the Wrecking Crew before we wrap it up and get into
Let's see. I think we pretty much covered their whole impact. We could go. I mean, the list of songs is endless.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
I
Like
mean,
Mark said.
yeah.
How many hours is it, Mark?
23 minutes and 23 hours and 45 minutes.
It's getting his minutes and hours mixed up.
Yeah.
They're also the band on. Name this tune, guys. Name this tune.
Don't hold your love out for me, baby.
Wow.
If
You know
you
the name
do
of the
that, maybe I.
Yep.
See, I know.
I always thought that was Elvis. I thought that was like a early 70s Elvis tune.
It does sound like Elvis.
It does, yeah. Do you know who the
Yeah.
band was? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yep. Indian Reservation by the Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Cherokee people.
The drums are great.
The drums are great. Exactly.
great.
Yeah.
How fucking playing, man. The
Yeah.
Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia by Vicki Lawrence.
And that stand-in.
Chevy Van. Oh my God.
Making love in my Chevy van, and that's all right with me.
Love Will Keep Us Together.
Love.
Yeah.
Love will keep us together.
Wow.
Oh, good
Wow.
song.
Yep. So that's pretty much it. You know.
Crackle
I
and
think
Rosie.
I think
Many ages,
I
though.
think I just went 7 for 7 on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Look at me.
Hey, Lou,
Yo.
when they're on the boxer, so that's Hal Blaine doing that big drum. Yeah.
Yep. There's a story behind that too. I don't know. Well, you know, some of the studios. Well, we just missed some of the recording studios that they played in because this is the height of the record business.
Businesses.
Gold Star Studios
Uh-huh.
In
Known
LA,
for-
right?
in LA, yeah, known for their famous
Yep.
reverb.
Yeah.
On my effects unit for my recording stuff, I have a reverb setting called Gold Star,
Ah,
and it's huge. United Western Recorders, a lot of Beach Boys stuff done at Western Recorders. Capitol Records in the Capitol Tower in Hollywood or LA, not LA.
Yep.
Columbia Records, RCA, and yep. So
where
all
did
those-
Phil Spector? Didn't he like to record at Gold Star because of that echo?
I think so. You know, they used whatever was available. I mean, it's like I said, Phil Spector had clout. If he wants.
But he would wait. They would wait for these guys too.
Yeah.
They would say, okay, it's Tony. He's like, nah, I got a session. Then we'll wait. They would never just try to fill in.
Yeah.
It was on their schedule. So you know how much fucking stroke that is?
Yeah, I know.
Right? To be a session musician and you got a producer like Phil Spector that will wait for you
Yeah,
and
I'm
become
waiting for
available.
I'll wait till Scott McLean's available. You know,
That's
then we'll-
right.
Right. You know, it's so
Damn
whether
right.
Jimmy Webb wrote the song or this guy's going to sing it or that girl's going to sing it. We're waiting until we got these guys to come in. I mean, they did with Hal Blaine. Same with the Funk Brothers. One of those
Yeah.
producers said, if I couldn't get James Jamerson and Benny Benjamin, I wait.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I'm seeing 4 songs here that stand out to me: La Bamba, Lucille, Blueberry Hill, and I'd Have You Any Time.
Okay, that's Earl Palmer on Lucille and Blueberry Hill, and yeah, that's not the whole crew. I think that.
Yeah.
What was the first song you mentioned?
La Bamba.
La Bamba. That's Carol Kaye playing on that.
Oh, okay. So this playlist, he's just including what the other.
Yeah, or just it might have a Wrecking Crew, but
he's got a lot of George Harrison cuts from the album. All Things Must Pass.
Well, Jim Gordon.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what he's doing. Okay.
So Kenny Arnoff, right?
John Coop Mellencamp.
Yeah.
Great drummer.
The Echo Chamber. There he is.
There he is.
The AI. The AI is back. It just randomly pops into the podcast.
There he is. The Echo.
Yeah,
Perry.
the Echo Chamber Gold Star. That's what I thought.
Perry,
Yeah.
they're picking on me. You better take over, Perry.
No. Mark's being an ass. Mark's being an ass to me.
I'm like Lou the night he tore his wall down. Remember? That's me tonight.
He's ready to
gonna
break
happen.
shit.
I'm not
He's
leaning
gonna
back
break
at all.
stuff.
Watch this.
No, don't do it, Lou. Don't do it.
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, are we winding it up with the Wrecking Crew?
I would like to say, I always said I wish I had the chops of Ginger Baker, but the career of Hal Blaine. To say you could the accomplishments the guy had on my Facebook page. I'm getting all these. I'm on a Hal Blaine fan site. He was such a positive guy. He was a real optimist though, but he was like the ringleader of that whole thing. Tommy Tedesco was a big character in that too. But
he seemed well. His son made it like he was the nucleus. But those three, I believe, that we named at the beginning of the podcast.
Right.
Were the nucleus of it.
If you ask anybody of the nucleus who they know most well, it would be Hal Blaine, but I think just because of his discography.
Yeah. And the fact that Tommy Tedesco didn't stop playing guitar till he was like 24.
Yeah. Funny guy.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah. I
Right?
was playing marbles when I was 12.
Yeah, he goes, these guys, they all talking about playing guitar when they were 12. I was know what the guitar was. I was playing marbles.
Yeah.
Well, the life of a musician, they all had supportive families, though. I mean, they supported their families, but the families were supportive.
Yeah.
It's a hard life.
Well, except for Hal Blaine, then he's
after his wife divorced him.
After his wife divorced him, she waited till he accumulated X amount of money. Then she
toughed it out.
She pulled the trigger. Yeah.
Now there's always a story behind a story too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. In law enforcement, like I say, there's 3 sides to every story.
Yeah, that's right.
There's always a middle story. There's always a third story. Yeah. So all right, I think we wrapped up enough on the
Well, let's just say one final thing I'd say about them. Some people in music, while they're great musicians, there's a lot of luck involved. It wasn't luck with the Wrecking Crew. It was talent, pure talent.
With those guys, if you weren't in it, you didn't cut it. If you couldn't cut it, you weren't in. And I'm sure a lot of guys came and went.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that got very sifted out. So these guys,
when the Byrds did their early recordings, they were all bummed out that they weren't playing on it. But I think Mr. Tambourine Man might be 2 or 3 takes. But when the Byrds as a band recorded Turn, it was like 72 takes.
Yeah, it was like, it was.
So, and again, like you said, time is money in these studios. And, unless you got the clout of Phil Spector, you can spend some money, you got to get this shit done. I mean, the jingles, they did advertising work. You got to come in and crap that stuff out,
Yeah.
And like we said at the beginning of the podcast, it's all about coming in and reading the music.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Or Glenn Campbell, or if you got really good ears, Glenn Campbell you could hum something to him and he would play it.
He'd play it. Yeah.
And that's when he did not read music.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like the scene in Rattle and Hum when the Edge and B.B. King are rehearsing before a show.
Yes.
And the Edge says, play this and this chord. He goes, son, I don't play
chords. I don't
just
play
tell
chords.
me what I need to play.
He doesn't do chords.
Play
just solos.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just gonna play it. I don't read music. Right.
Yep.
All right. So I think we covered a big chunk of that. I'm sure there's a lot of little crumbs that we left on the side of the road, but in this podcast, things always seem to come around in other shows.
Yep.
Yeah.
We always seem to pick stuff up that happened a couple shows earlier.
Yep.
So
hey, you're starting to break up again. So let's get going with this.
Oh, okay. All right. Top 10 this week. We're doing top 10 this week in 1996.
Very good year.
1996. Number 10 this week in 1996. 1, 2, 3, 4, Something New by Coolio. The late Coolio, right?
Yeah, he died just recently.
Yeah. Number 9 this week in 1996, One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey and Boyz II
Good
Men.
song.
Yeah. Number 8 this week in 1996, Missing by Everything But the Girl. And I miss you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I miss you.
In the rain,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
And
desert
I
meets
miss you.
like the desert meets.
Yeah, like the desert meets the rain, and I miss you.
You're getting
Love that song.
your voice is getting better every week.
It is. I'm good. I'm getting
gotta
good.
get-
I'm tuning up
we
for
gotta
the
get-
Rage Against the Cafe.
Right. The Asheville tour.
Because from what I understand, Lou is like fucking Phil Spector in that
Oh, yeah.
studio. Don't fuck
Oh,
around.
he's tough, Scott.
Get this
Turn me
shit
loose,
done.
man. Turn me
Scott,
loose.
I
Let
did a
this shit
solo
done.
for him about 10 years ago, right? Yeah,
He's gonna-
tough.
Come on.
He's gonna treat me like Pete Townsend treated Roger Daltrey at the beginning. Like shit. You're just a singer. That's all you
Sing.
are. Yeah, just sing. The rest of
Yeah,
us
you just gotta learn how to
geniuses will
count the 4. You
play.
can count the 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And we're
That's
we're
the
we're
Lou I
play-
know.
We're gonna play McCormick Field too.
Shit. Tour of Asheville.
Home of the Asheville Tours.
Twit tour in
The Asheville
Asheville.
We got to get a bus.
It's more like the fucking Ashtray
Yeah,
tour. That's where
Well,
we'll
we
end
got
up.
the Orange Peel. We got the Gray Eagle. These are good venues. We got we
There
have the
you
Diana
go.
Wortham Theater,
Or
Hey,
come
all right,
right?
I'm
Home of
ready.
Field.
I'll get my pipes
The
ready,
Asheville
buddy.
Guitar Bar. Right? We'll
I'm
just-
a 10-hour drive away. That's it.
is it really 10 hours?
I almost got my ticket. I almost got tickets to see Nick Cave
You-
in Asheville. We
yeah,
talked
yeah,
about
you
this, right? And he's with Colin Greenwood from Radiohead,
Okay.
right? And not the Bad Seeds, but that's okay. And I'm thinking, I'm going, yeah, let me look though. And then I saw the show in Boston, and I was like, all right, I got to go up there anyways, so I might as well,
Yeah.
you know, do it. But I was because it's the jump off for his tour. Starts in Asheville.
Oh, it started.
He's only doing like
Is he at the
a
Orange
very
Peel
limited.
in Nashville?
Well, you sent me the clip. It's either
He's at an audit. He's at the what auditorium?
it's the
It's,
Thomas Wolfe Auditorium.
Yeah. I think that's it.
So that's a fairly sized. It's a nice sized theater.
Yeah.
I saw a Beatle. I took my son to see a Beatle tribute band there for his 10th birthday. Holy shit!
You ever listen to Nick
Yeah.
Cave?
Yeah, some. Yeah.
Yeah. Not really. You think?
I'm not sure. But I have heard him. But I wasn't like, it was thinking where that was Nick Cave in the Bad Seeds. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, but I wasn't paying attention. So I wasn't like, I don't like this. But I know of him slightly, but not enough to say and give an opinion musically. Actually,
Yeah. They call him the posh prince of goth.
right. He's got a big
Yeah.
baritone too,
Yeah.
right? Deep
Yeah.
voice guy.
Yeah. Fucking.
He's got a mullet.
brilliant
Doesn't he have a
lyricist.
mullet? Didn't he always have a mullet?
He did in the
Does he
90s.
still?
Yeah, he had a mullet. Yeah. I don't know about now. It's just kind of combed back, I think. But good head of hair on that guy.
Yeah.
But
you call me?
what? I don't know. We're
I
not
just heard
going.
good
now.
head of
It's-
hair, you know. I was looking.
Oh,
Put
okay.
him in the
All
box
right.
again.
So there you go.
Oh, come on,
Rock,
my
com,
favorite
com.
part of the
Making-
show.
Making
Oh,
fun
come
of
on.
bald guys now. He's making fun of bald guys. Right?
That's okay. That's okay. You know what? You know what this bald guy can do? You're in the box. 30 seconds. That's what this bald guy can do.
Oh my god.
That's right. Yeah, he's giving
He's
you
like
the
a-
finger,
he's
and he just keeps adding to the
I know,
list
I know.
of revenge. All the
not-
revenge is going to come
He's not
slowly.
learning.
It's death. It's death by 1,000 penalty boxes. That's what it is. All right, he's
Careful, I'm going to go into my bender thing, and I can go on that for 30 minutes. My chicken pot pie.
There you go. Okay.
Scott, the gentleman, was it Mark?
Yeah.
I drive by Warren Haynes Boulevard or Warren Haynes Road sometimes. There's actually a road.
Really?
named that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
I'm in West Nashville. Yep. Yeah, he's a local boy.
And that's funny that's where they're kicking off the tour.
Yeah.
And he's not with them.
Oh, a government mule?
Oh! I was
Oh,
thinking
wait.
of Nick Cave. He has
okay.
the guy that he's with is Warren. One of the guys from the Bad Seeds.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm going Warren Haynes. That doesn't sound good. Anyways, moving on. Number 7. Number 7.
What year was it? 95?
96.
96. Not Gonna Cry by Mary J. Blige.
Oh,
All right.
memories.
Yeah. Number 6 this week in 1996. Sitting Up in My Room by Brandy. That was a hit. That one climbed, actually, I believe. Let's see. Number 5 this week in 1996. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Oh, Alanis.
You know, none of that shit is fucking irony.
No.
If you listen to the words,
I know.
it's not fucking irony. It's
They're
fucking
about
bad luck.
Mark has a fly in his Chardonnay, I think.
Yeah.
It's a black fly in your Chardonnay, Mark. But
Oh,
what's the irony in that?
There is none.
There's
Like,
none.
it's like rain on your wedding day. That's fucking not ironic. That's bad fucking luck.
I just got cheap Chardonnay.
Yeah. Let me see. It's like having, 1,000 spoons and all you need is a knife, right? It's fucking bad luck.
It's meeting the man in your dreams and his beautiful wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not my beautiful.
It is gorgeous. That's not my beautiful wife.
The guy from the Bad Seeds is Warren Ellis. That's who it was. That's why I saw Warren and I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah. So number 4, Down Low, Nobody Has to Know. R. Kelly.
Oh,
No one has to know I peed on you.
when he was a free man.
No one has to know. No one has to know I'm in the closet. No one has to know. No one has to. Did I say nobody has to know I peed on you? R. Kelly?
45-minute
Kelly, damn it.
videos.
There we go. Moving on. Let me see.
You lost ground.
Yeah, number 3, Nobody Knows. The Tony Rich Project. Number 2, Always Be My Baby by Mariah.
Two
And
songs
number
in the
1.
top, yeah.
Yeah, number 1 this week in 1996. Because You Loved Me, Celine Dion.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Now-
now Rock was dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was,
Could have been back the next week or whatever.
Right.
Right. Right. It's time for Mark's favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
This day in music.
Yeah.
This is not a fucking happy day in music, by the way.
No.
This is not a fucking happy day. Now, I'm going to start from the end and then move forward. So, let me see. On this day in 1962, the Beatles performed at the Cavern Club in Liverpool as part of a special night presented by the Beatles Fan Club. The Beatles wear their black leather outfits for the first half of the performance for old time's sake, and then they change into their new suits for the second half. That must have been pretty cool.
Just like all the cover bands that we see.
Yeah,
really, yeah.
The creepy cover bands.
And the Sgt. Pepper outfits. Yeah.
Tribute bands, yeah.
Well,
Creepy
that
as fuck.
Beatle band I saw at the Thomas Wolfe Theater, when you got close to them, you're like, oh, these guys are in their 60s with Beatle wigs on.
And they're wearing wigs, yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Go back to the back of the theater. The better.
Exactly, yeah.
They were good.
Let's see. On this day in 1967, Monkees fans walked from London's Marble Arch to the U.S. Embassy in Grosvenor Square to protest Davy Jones's planned call-up draft. That's the Clash song, the call-up. That's their version of that's in England.
Really?
They call it the draft. Jones was exempted because he was deemed responsible for supporting his father. And they probably paid somebody off a lot of money.
Absolutely.
All right, this is the beginning of it. It's kind of. On this day in 1975, Minnie Riperton went to number 1 on the U.S. single charts with the Stevie Wonder produced song, Loving You. It was the singer's only U.S. chart. Riperton died of cancer on 12th July, 1979, just 4 years later.
Maya.
Maya
Yeah.
Rudolph.
Maya Rudolph, yeah.
And I didn't know Stevie Wonder produced that. That's cool, man.
Yeah. On this day in 1979, Duran Duran made their live debut at the Lecture Theater in Birmingham Polytechnic. The band have since then achieved 14 singles in the top 10 of the UK charts and 21 Billboard Hot 100 and have sold over 100 million records worldwide. They're going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Duran?
Yeah.
They are.
They already got in?
Yeah, they were at
did they get in
the summer
recently?
this past year.
They did, okay.
Yeah.
And they sounded great. They
did.
sounded really good.
Yeah. I saw a video of it was like some fucking it was like some restaurant, or it might have been an event or something. Everyone's sitting outside. It's in the summertime, and like everybody's wearing like casual, like white cotton shit. And there's a bar over here, and people are hanging out, and all of a sudden, fucking Simon Le Bon just walks up on stage,
Wow.
like all beach casual, and sang fucking what's the song? One of their slower ballad type songs.
Morning After or something.
Yeah,
Save
yeah,
it for
something
the
like that.
morning,
It was
yeah.
pretty fucking
Ordinary
cool.
World.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Ordinary
Yeah.
World. That was a big hit. Yeah.
Let's see. On this day in 1980, REM played their first ever gig when they appeared at St. Mary's Episcopal Church
Ah, yes.
in Athens, Georgia.
Cool.
All right. Oh, he says that's right. Rio. He sang Rio alone. That's right.
okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, man. And he does the whole song. He does, and he does it like he means it. This is just a walk up. Like
Right,
he was
right.
probably eating lunch with his wife or something. He's like, someone's like, "Hey, Simon," and he just fucking walked up, grabbed the mic.
That
The
proves
DJ,
the
there was a
talent.
DJ behind him. That's right. Oh, a kid playing the guitar. That's what it was. This kid was playing the guitar for this kind of brunch or whatever it was. And this fucking Simon Le Bon walks on stage and the dude fucking starts playing with him. Like, this is a once in a lifetime deal, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that's how it went.
Now look at the video of Bon Jovi getting up at the wedding when he didn't want to do it and not sounding too good.
Another dude that grew up to, like, I saw a picture of Tony Danza today. I'm like, when did he turn into an old Italian lady?
That's the same
An old
haircut.
Italian grandmother. He looks, it says fucking Bon Jovi looks like an old, like,
Oh, he looks, he definitely.
old white lady. Yeah.
He was definitely dyeing his hair for a while.
Oh, man.
It's like Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page had jet black hair, and then one day, jet white.
Yeah. Well, the dude, Roland Osborn from Tears for Fears, white hair.
They're touring.
Only Jeff Beck could pull off the fucking jet black hair.
Jet black, when you're 80.
I think Johnny Marr's trying to do it too.
Yeah.
All right, is Robert Smith a horror show now or what?
Oh, jeez.
Robert Smith, that dude.
Look, I love The Cure and I love the music, but
Sure.
looking at him, it's like, oof.
That's an ugly girl right there.
Wow.
That's an ugly girl. He gives Janis Joplin a run for her money. That dude.
Tell you what, one night I'm going to color my hair and I'm going to come on.
Dude, if you fucking spiked it up black and you'd look just like Robert Smith.
Go
That
away.
would be
Some
hilarious.
lipstick on your face like the
That would,
Joker.
yeah, just smear lipstick all over your face. Fucking put some fucking white powder on there. Okay. Oh, that would fucking, dude, it would be epic.
I don't know.
Epic.
I don't know any Cure fan that doesn't say he should just not just do something with your hair. Yeah. Put some moisturizer in
I
your.
just won't let
Do
it
something.
go.
Just listen to the music. Don't watch it.
Let's see. On this day in 1981, here's where it begins.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Canned Heat singer Bob the Bear Height died of a heart attack at age 36.
Wow, Jesus.
Went up the country, never came back.
One of those rare, like Leslie West, one of the rare fat rock stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like you didn't really see that back then.
Yeah.
These guys, you had to be really talented for them to say, you know what, we're gonna run with this one.
BTO.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Randy Bachman
Didn't he have the song called "Taking Care of Breakfast"?
taking care of. Oh, you were waiting to get that one in. Where
Yeah,
you worked right in. Good working, Lou. Good working.
Thanks. I got another one. Atlanta Rhythm Section.
You're not supposed to tell us.
Sorry.
You're
Okay.
supposed to work it in. That's why it's a work in.
Did you know?
No.
I remember. You know the band.
Oh,
Atlanta Rhythm, you remember the band?
Tell the joke. Tell the joke.
They were all big guys. They're all big guys.
The Atlanta Rhythm Section.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Yep. So Bob Height died at the age of 36 from a heart attack. Played at the, hey, listen, he got to do Monterey Pop and Woodstock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
On this day in 1984, Marvin Gaye's funeral took place at the Forest Lawn Cemetery in Los Angeles.
The way he died. Oh.
Yeah. Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, Quincy Jones, Berry Gordy, and other Motown singers, writers, and producers attended the service.
Yeah.
On this day in 1985, what's that?
Shot by his father.
Yeah. On this day in 1985 at 3:50 p.m., what did over 5,000 radio stations play all at once?
We are the world.
There you go. We are the world. Enough of that.
We are the children.
Yeah. We are the world. Yeah, that's all that bullshit. Yeah. All right, here we go again. It was a sad day on this day in 1994. Kurt Cobain, 27-year-old frontman and co-founder of Nirvana, committed suicide at his home in Seattle.
Wow.
Unless you talk to other people who think that somebody else that he was married to might have pulled that trigger.
Yeah, I know.
Or helped him.
Billy Corgan's still alive.
That's right.
Got an album out of Billy.
yeah, she did. I always liked Courtney Love. She was a rock star. She's still a rock star to me.
Good actor too.
She was until she fucking called out Harvey Weinstein. She was like one of the first ones to do that.
Yeah.
She called him out. She's like, "Fuck this guy. This guy is like he's a pig," and they were all like, "She's blackballed." Because she had a little burgeoning career in movies.
That's right. Right.
And all of a sudden it was gone because she's like, "I ain't taking this motherfucking shit."
She wouldn't put it out for him.
Yeah. So let's see.
So Scott, that was 94 when Kurt Cobain died.
94, yeah.
94. Wow.
Yeah. On this day in 1995, Monica Dannerman, the one-time girlfriend of Jimi Hendrix, committed suicide 2 days after losing a court battle with another of the guitarist's ex-lovers. That was kind of a weird court case. The other lady, she had already been married, and she had a couple kids, and she was married to a doctor, so she was doing well, and the whole thing. And she had said that she was dated Jimi Hendrix for like 30 months or something. And this girlfriend was like, "You're a liar," and started kind of slandering her. And so that girl's like, "Well, I'm taking you to court." "No, I'm taking you to court because you're lying and you're da-da-da." Ended up getting thrown out. In the end, this girl was, what's this? Are we all frozen?
No, I'm fine. Uh-oh, Lou.
Lou's frozen. Either way, we're getting through this.
This hasn't happened so long that Lou froze.
Anyways.
Wow.
So what happens is the girl actually, she was sick anyways, and she was broke. Yeah. She had wrote a book about her relationship with Jimi Hendrix, and then it just was too much for her, and she fucking axed herself. Yeah. On this day in 1998, Spice Girls performed their first ever. It's a lot of firsts and a lot of deaths. Ever live UK concert when they appeared in front of 9,000 strong audience at Glasgow, Scotland.
I've given you everything. I love that song. That's a great tune.
There you go. Here we go again. It was a sad day on this day in 1998. And this is right down Lou's alley. British drummer Cozy Powell, Colin Flukes, was killed when his car smashed into crash barriers on the M4 motorway near Bristol, England.
What a fucking loss.
Yeah, that dude, he hit that barrier like John Bonham hitting his bass drum.
Dun-dun-dun. Rim dude, shot, Coach.
He hit hard.
I wish Lou was here, because supposedly the last thing he said was he was on the phone with his daughter, and he said, "Oh, shit," and that was it.
I think we talked about that.
Oh, it was on, yeah.
I think we talked about it. So there you go, right?
Man, what a drummer. What with Emerson, Lake and Powell.
So,
man, what a good.
He was with the Jeff Beck Group, Whitesnake, Black Sabbath, Rainbow, Brian May, Peter Green, the Emerson, Lake and Palmer spinoff, Emerson, Lake and Powell. Right?
Michael Schenker Group.
Yeah, Powell, known as the most driving drummers in rock, had also had hits as a solo artist, including Dance with the Devil and The Man in Black, and had fronted his own band, Cozy Powell's Hammer. Cozy Powell's Hammer. So Lou just sent me a text. We all froze up.
Not us.
Not us, buddy. It's not me this time, motherfucker. That's right.
Look, I'm moving.
Yeah. It was a sad day on this day in 2002. Sad day on this day in 2002. One of my favorite lead singers, I've let it be known many a time, Lane Staley of Alice in Chains, was found dead from a mixture of heroin and cocaine in his home. It was reported that he was 6 feet tall and weighed only 86 pounds when he died, when his body was discovered.
Yeah.
I saw something recently on one of these reels, and it was like the last pictures taken of Lane Staley, and it was like a birthday, and the dude was just like, he was thin.
Shell of a human.
Yeah. Then,
unfortunately, when he died, I was like, he was one of those guys where you were dreading that it was coming. And the same thing with Kurt Cobain. In the last year of Kurt's life, I'm like, he just felt like something was going to happen.
Yeah, I think I took Lane Staley dying worse than Kurt Cobain, really. Because I liked Alice in Chains better.
Yeah.
They say, if you see, and I say this and prove me wrong, you're not gonna convince me ever that the Alice in Chains Unplugged is better than the Nirvana Unplugged, because Nirvana isn't really an unplugged.
And they cheated.
Show.
They had electric guitar.
Yeah, they had electric guitars, but that Alice in Chains Unplugged, in my opinion, is the best fucking unplugged.
Yeah, it was really good.
That I've ever seen.
Yeah,
arguably the best one ever done.
Great voice, great unique voice.
And you saw he's wearing the gloves, right?
Because
he was shooting heroin through the webs of his fingers.
Yeah,
So they were all that's why he started wearing gloves all the time.
Right.
Me and Jack talked about that a couple times. Let me see. Again, it was a sad day on this day in 2006. Gene Pitney was found dead, age 65, in his bed in Cardiff Hotel. The American singer was on a UK tour and had shown signs of illness. Pitney helped the Rolling Stones break the American market with his endorsement of the band. Jagger and Richards wrote his hit, That Girl Belongs to Yesterday, which became the Stones duo's first composition to reach the American charts. He scored a 1962 U.S. #4 single with Only Love Can Break a Heart in 1967. Let me see. Solo UK #5 in 1989 UK #1 single with Mark Almond, Something's Got a Hold of My Heart, plus over 15 other US and UK top 40 hits. Let's see.
He died in Wales.
Yeah. On this day in 2006, Marion Suge Knight staved off receivership by seeking bankruptcy for protection of himself and his music label Death Row Records. It says the record producer.
That was me. Don't look.
Okay, that's right. Let me see. And a former associate said she had helped start the label, and basically he owed her $100 million.
Just $100 million.
Yeah. On this day in 2007, former Kiss guitarist Mark St. John died.
Oh, yeah.
From an apparent brain hemorrhage at the age of 51.
That's two former Kiss members have died. Yeah, the drummer, Eric Carr, and Mark St. John.
They're turning into the fucking Clinton mob over there.
Paul did. Gene doesn't like you.
Associated with them dies.
If you look at Gene the wrong way,
you're dead.
You're dead, man.
You talk shit about Hillary, you're dead.
Hey, Gene, do you sit down to pee? Oh,
there you go. Heart attack. Let's see. On this day in 2008, Apple's iTunes overtook supermarket group Walmart to become the largest music retailer in the U.S. market. Research from NPD said iTunes surpassed Walmart in January and February. If 12 downloads are considered equal to the sale of a CD album. So that's how they kind of charted, which makes sense. Yeah. iTunes had sold more than 4 billion songs since its launch in 2003.
They really screwed up when there was a period of time where downloads were not being counted. So there were a lot of artists that should have gotten on the charts that didn't. Yeah. And they finally recognized it. When Billboard finally recognized downloads, I hate downloads. I just buy the physical media, but it's a fact, you know?
Yeah.
iTunes. God, I haven't used iTunes.
You hate downloads, but you have Spotify.
Yeah. Well, I'm a hypocrite. Totally. Here's my thing. This is my rule. Here's my rule. If I like a band, if I really like them, if it's the Rolling Stones, they don't need my money. If I like them, I'll buy the CD.
Okay.
All right. So let's bring back Zebra. Favorite band. I bought all their CDs. So someone got on me once on a Facebook discussion about, don't listen to Zebra on Spotify. They're not getting the money. I'm like, dude, I bought all the CDs. So it's convenient. It's in the car, you know?
It's a face-off book. Everybody's had one. Everybody's had a face-off book moment.
I'll tell you, music is rough. And when it's prog, it's even worse.
A lot of opinion. Yeah, music is very opinionated, as we all have our opinions on certain things. And, you know, when Jack's on the show, there's at least one, whoa. Before.
I haven't done it to you. I've been nice.
Okay.
But
understand, what's that?
You know, it's like, again, I always said this. Like, my favorite Yes album is, don't say the best Yes album. I hate that shit. Like, that's your favorite album. Who cares? Yeah, it's fine.
I like saying it's the best because whatever I like is the best.
That's true.
So that's that. Remember?
Okay.
That's right. Don't
what's
tell
right
me what's the best and what's not. I'll tell you what's the best and what's not.
Gotta get a shirt. Scott is right. Okay. Yes.
More
yes, sir.
cowbell.
Yeah,
More
yes, sir.
cowbell.
Yes, sir.
On this day in 2011, a statue in tribute to Nirvana singer Kurt Cobain was unveiled in his hometown of Aberdeen, Washington. Okay, whatever. On this day in 2012, another sad day.
Ugh.
Jim Marshall, who made rock and roll rawer and noisier
Mhm.
by inventing the Marshall amplifier, died at a hospice in London at age 88.
Hmm.
Yeah. His amplifiers and speakers, known as Marshall Stacks, were used by Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, and almost every other major rock guitarist in the 60s and 70s, and by the next generation of guitarists as well, including Kurt Cobain, Eddie Van Halen, and Slash.
And I was once young and dumb and believed that when they had 20 Marshall Stacks on stage, they were all playing. Someone said, "There's no speakers in them.
Right.
There's no speakers. They're just playing through one amp. Come on, Mark." Wow, Richie Blackmore plays 20 stacks.
And on this day in 2013, Mark Knopfler canceled 2 shows in Russia to protest over what he called the country's crackdown on human rights groups, and nobody cared. So
Mark
we'll end it on that.
No one's had a
On
quieter solo career than Mark Knopfler.
Exactly.
I
right?
love it. I love
Yeah.
it. It's
Let's see. Born on this day in 1929, Joe Meek, English record producer and sound engineer and songwriter who pioneered space age and experimental pop music. He actually produced Telstar by the Tornadoes in 1962. I believe that was the first instrumental ever to go to number 1.
Wow.
Yeah, Telstar. And you've heard it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. People don't know the name of it, but I'm sure like every baby boomer has heard that.
Yep.
However the thing is, yeah. Let me see. Born on this day in 1935, Peter Grant, manager of Led Zeppelin. Yeah, died from a heart attack on November 21st, 1995 at age 60.
I
It's
just
young.
read a story on him. I hated him for years, even though I love Zeppelin. I said he started corporate rock, but the obituary I read, I was researching him for something, and it said he put the money back into the musicians' hands. He did actually a good thing. He made the musician more powerful.
I think he became, because he was a wrestler, and that industry is cutthroat. Like you can show up for a match and you're not going to get paid. Like the promoter leaves, he ditches before the show ends, and you got to chase him for his money. So I think he probably had that mindset. Like these guys are getting screwed, like wrestlers are getting screwed.
Yeah.
But he's also shrewd because he would probably said, if I pay them more, they're going to do better, and I will get more in the end.
Yeah.
Invest up front to receive more in the end.
Yep.
And then you're going to have your, hotel robbed in New York during a concert. You're going to collect insurance. While they're doing, and we're going to have it all on film. We're going to be talking. What a best. I mean, how could you plan a better crime? Okay.
Yeah.
We're filming a documentary. Song remains the same. We're going to be at Madison Square Garden. Okay. We're going to have cameras with us all the time. So it wasn't us. It wasn't me. I wasn't there. I was at the concert, Meanwhile, his thug buddies just, the hooligans show up and rob the room and rob everything. He probably gave them the key, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. He's in it. Is he going to be in for the finish?
Back.
He's back. Lou is back for the finish. The big finish. I had just said this. I'm going to repeat it, though, just for you, Lou. It was a sad day, right? We were talking about the sad days. There's a lot of deaths on this day, right? And let me see. On this day, in 1998, British drummer Cozy Powell, Colin Flukes, was killed when his car smashed into crash barriers, the M4 motorway in England, right? What was his last words?
Oh, shit.
Right? And I made the comment, he hit that barrier harder than John Bonham hitting his bass drum.
Oh, yeah. Damn. He was going fast.
I was waiting for that joke just for you, and you're gone. Like,
I
fuck
froze
the whole moment up.
I'm sorry, I froze up.
Just for that, you're in the box. 30 seconds. He's gone. I put him back in. No, you went into self-induced penalty
It was.
box.
I thought why the whole screen froze up. Usually just I get blacked out of it.
Usually you blame me.
Yeah, it's the flea virus.
Anyways, let me see. So born on this day in 1942, Alan Clark, singer of
The Hollies.
There you go. All right. That Hit Machine.
Great singer.
Yeah. Hit Machine too. They had it. They had it. And Graham Nash is like, nah, too vanilla. Too vanilla. I'm leaving. Yeah.
I'm leaving for a very dysfunctional band.
He left a lot of money on the table to make a lot more money. Little did he know.
Yeah.
Make way more money. But I'm sure those dudes from the Hollies are still collecting those royalties.
Yeah.
You know? Let's see. Born on this day in 1944, Nicholas Caldwell, singer for the American group The Whispers. They had the single "And the Beat Goes On."
The Whispers.
Yeah. They had the 1980 song, version of "And the Beat Goes On." Born on this day in 1948, English rock drummer Dave Holland, best remembered for his stints with Trapeze from 69 to 79, and
Judas Priest.
Hey, I knew
he does the drum intro on.
Yeah.
Boom, bam, boom, boom, bam, boom,
Yeah.
bam.
And he died in a hospital in Spain on in January 16th, 2018, at the age of 69.
He had a rough time.
Pedophile.
Yeah, giving drum lessons to young girls.
Pedo.
Yeah.
Pedo alert.
Yeah.
A lot of these dudes dying in the 60s and 50s and 40s and 30s. Like holy shit.
Yeah.
None of them are dying of old age.
In rock and roll, if you're a musician, if you party too hard, 67 is your year.
Right.
That's my theory. Yeah.
Right. Born on this day in 1950, Agnetha Falskog.
ABBA.
There you go. Who got that one? Yeah.
ABBA.
Swedish musician, singer, songwriter, Agnetha Falskog from ABBA. Yeah. She actually was a solo artist before she joined ABBA. She actually had a hit on her own.
Agnetha Falskog. I'm going to remember that name.
Falskog.
Falskog.
Faltskog.
Was she married to Bjorn? Were they married couples? Like were they in Bjorn?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were dating or they were married.
Weird.
Yeah,
it's like Fleetwood Mac.
That band got weird. Yeah, they got weird.
But there's just four of them. At least in Fleetwood Mac, they could break off and go hang out with Mick. Or, But they're just stuck together all the time.
They all hung out with Mick, all of them.
Yeah. Born on this day in 1951, Everett Morton. From the British group The Beat, or as we called them in the United States, the English Beat.
Okay.
Mirror in the bathroom.
God.
Let me see. He died at age 71 in October 8th, 2021. Let me see. Born on this day in 1954, Stan Ridgway from what group?
Wall of Voodoo.
There you go.
I was going to say something wrong.
What were you going to say?
I forget now.
No, you don't. What were you going to say?
I was thinking of the other guy in Wham.
Oh, no, that's Andrew Ridgway. I can see.
That's close, yeah.
I can see how
the
you
guy no one ever heard.
I'd put him in the penalty box.
No, it was Andrew Ridgely.
Oh.
Yeah, American multi-instrumentalist and songwriter Stan Ridgway, who scored the 1986 single Camouflage. That was a good song, too. Founding member of Wall of Voodoo, and also sang the theme song for what movie? What 80s movie? Starring Matt Dillon.
16 Candles. No.
No.
My Bodyguard.
It was filmed in black and white, but certain things were in color.
Rumblefish.
There you go. Don't box me in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Was Rumblefish connected to The Outsiders?
No.
Okay.
It was Francis Ford Coppola directed it.
Similar types of movies, but they weren't.
I always thought maybe it was the same characters. All right.
Yeah. Born on this day in 1961, Jacob Schleischer, drummer with Semisonic. Closing time.
Oh. He's born in 61.
Yeah. Born on this day in 1965, Mike McCready from
Pearl Jam.
There you go. Founding member of Pearl Jam. Born on this day in 1968, Paula Cole. Part of that whole
Where Have All the Cowboys Gone?
Yeah. Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? And I Don't Want to Wait.
Oh, that's right. That's the theme to Dawson's Creek. Yeah.
Mark, I've never watched a second of that. I've never watched a second of Friends. Well, I
watched Dawson's Creek.
You would, and I'm sure you watched Friends too.
He was in high school.
I watched literally 2 minutes of Friends. One episode, 2 minutes, and I never watched it again.
I've seen about 2 minutes of Friends. Never saw Dawson's Creek.
Never got it. Yeah, she was part of that whole Lilith Fair crew.
That's right.
Mark, what are you doing, Mark?
Nothing.
Born on this day in 1973, the very, very, I will say very one more time, talented Pharrell Williams.
Yes.
One half of the writing duo, the Neptunes. Talk about raking in cash.
Mm-hmm.
With Chad Hugo. Williams has produced numerous #1 hits for Mystical, Jay-Z, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Ed Sheeran, and Nelly.
Wow.
He had the 2003 U.S. #1 album, The Neptunes Present Clones. Williams featured on the 2013 worldwide hit Blurred Lines with Robin Thicke, which they ended up having to pay all the royalties to the Marvin Gaye family.
They suffered
They sampled what's it called?
Marvin Gaye.
Gotta give it up.
Give it up, yeah.
Give it up. Did you know Marvin Gaye's father was a cross dresser?
I heard, now you say that, I did hear something weird like that.
He was a minister, but apparently he would come to Marvin's gigs and just wig him out.
A minister as a cross dresser. I'm not surprised.
Hey, listen, if he was the guy was ahead of his time, because today he'd be on a fucking Bud Light can.
Bud Light matters.
He'd be on a Bud Light can. See how we come full circle? See how I brought that from beginning to end? See how
professional showbiz podcasting, man.
That's right. Always got to be, the wheels always got to be turning. Quick.
That's right. You got to think
That's
fast.
why I like live. You got to stay on your toes live.
Yeah, Scott, I get that one. I know. So they suffered the same fate as Bittersweet Symphony.
But they got their money back.
Yeah, well, no.
Verve but they never recovered from it, but they got their money back.
Right, yeah.
And I still say, get that. Listen to that album, The Verve. The last one was called Fourth. F-O-R-U-T-H. Fucking great album. Great album.
My son-in-law is a big Verve, and Richard, what's his name?
Ashcroft.
He loves Richard Ashcroft.
Yeah. Let me see. Robin Thicke and his own 2013 single, and I still listen to this song. I still fucking like this song.
Happy.
Yep. Talk about a song that just fucking draws you in.
Yeah.
How could you not like that song?
Boom. We play that at the Spiritual Center every once in a while.
Because I'm happy. I mean, that's it's a great song.
It has a great drum beat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything the kid is a genius. The kid is.
You know what? He's his own wrecking crew.
He is.
He just
The
rattled
dude
off.
Can do it all, man.
Modern day, he was a producer. Modern day, it's like
to
have a whole group of musicians.
See, that reached #1 in over 20 countries.
Wow. Damn.
Jesus Christ.
Nice.
Let's see. Born on this day in 1975 for you hip hop heads, American rapper, songwriter, and record producer, Juicy J, aka Michael Jordan Houston. Jordan Michael Houston, founding member of the Southern hip hop group 3-6 Mafia. There's a very, very, very tiny percentage of people that might listen to this podcast that know who 3-6 Mafia is.
Even I don't.
But I got to throw that in there. And born on this day in 1981, Filipino-American musician and singer-songwriter Mary Queen Mandig, vocalist for How to Destroy Angels with her husband, Trent Reznor.
Yeah.
And she is a Filipino beauty.
Are they still married?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's beautiful. She's almost as beautiful as my wife.
No, not nearly as beautiful.
That's good,
nearly as beautiful.
You got that.
There you go. That's right, boy. Yeah, you get this too. You get it all. All right, enough of that. Enough of that. And gentlemen, that's it. Another 2-hour show.
Yeah. I thought we were going to get out at an hour and a half. It didn't happen.
Nah, this takes a half hour. The top 10, the born on this day, this day, that's 30 minutes. I kind of slowed it down to get to like 90 minutes, and I was like, this is going to get us past 2 hours. We have to stay consistent, I guess.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, once again, I thank you for your knowledge, for your input, for your time. It's always an honor doing the show with you guys. You bring a great vibe, and somebody sent me a text the other day saying you guys are hitting your stride.
Oh,
yeah,
thanks,
hitting the stride.
Love being here.
I did say, like I had said that when I first started doing this with you guys, you both have two different styles, right? of how you talk, right, and how your rhythm goes. And I was used to doing one with Jack, and I've known Jack my whole life, so it was a natural rhythm. But I would catch myself talking over you sometimes, Lou. Because sometimes you'll stop. You know, it's just the way you present, and it's nothing wrong with that. I wasn't used to your cadence of how you talk, right? And Mark is just like, he's so laid back. I don't know if he's holding back to say something. I'm like, do you want to say something?
Here's the difference between me and Lou. Lou sneaks in the door. He goes, right? And then I'm the one that goes, but. I give up.
But I was trying to think, like, I'm trying to draw, like, does Mark not want to say something? And, like, you know,
just scared shitless the first time I was on your show.
Getting in his way, like
I was like Albert Brooks in Broadcast News.
Say whatever you want. Yeah. But gentlemen, again, I can never thank you enough. This is always fun. It's my brother sent me a text today, said he's a podcast listener, and he says this is the highlight of his week. He loves this podcast.
Great. Good to hear.
Thank you.
Looks like you got a couple new listeners tonight too.
Yeah. See, and that's what I like. Give it the organic growth. I don't, I'm not really into producing and all that, promoting it. I barely go in and fucking entitle these things like the next day. It's that artist mentality. Like, I like just doing it. All the extra work that goes with it, I could do it.
Right.
As something else to do.
Keep it raw.
Just do it and do it and put it out there.
Yeah, and I like these things for prosperity too. I got a couple granddaughters, and this is all good for them later on. Or it won't be. They'll be like, blah. That's. Anyways, again, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott.
We won't be here next week. I will be in the Caribbean somewhere. I think on this day I might be in I don't know, fucking Aruba, maybe.
Nice.
Aruba.
All right.
And as usual, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you like it, share it. If you didn't like it, thanks for listening this long. You guys are the engine that runs this machine. Without you, it would just be me talking to Lou and Mark, and that's always a good thing. Always a good. Now, Jack, I can question it.
Oh, you want Jack back?
Wasn't always good conversation. No, I love Jack.
I want my Wednesday night sitting back watching.
Yeah, well, when Jack comes back, you don't think you guys are off the cuff. There might be a twice a month contract coming your way, at least every other week. Or hey, come on whenever you want. I'll invite you guys back. It's up to you guys.
Lou? Sure. Scott's got a contract on us.
Hey, I got reach.
Okay, right. It's on.
And like I always say, doing this podcast for you in the live stream, to quote my favorite artist, Morrissey, the pleasure, the privilege is mine. We will see you in 2 weeks for episode 98.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Climbing 200.
Closing. You've been doing this for 3 years, you said?
Yeah. It's 3 years now. Yeah. I started, once I retired, I was like, I'm going to do this. And I go back and I listen to those early episodes. I'm like, oh.
Hi, I'm Scott McLean. Here's my new show. I'm going to talk.
No, I had no idea how to present anything. I had no idea. And it was live. Like I made myself do it live.
I watched your first episode. It was good. It was great.
I had fucking talk about being scared shitless. Like, I'm like, oh shit. Like I need content. Like I didn't even understand content. I have learned so much over these past 97 episodes. Like so much about how to do this and what to do and how to keep the rhythm, and content is everything, and keep collecting content. Mm-hmm. Of course, it will never match Lou's fucking notebook.
No,
the Bible over there.
Which you wouldn't let me use tonight.
That's right, because I knew you didn't need it, buddy. I knew you didn't need it. I knew that too.
Lou's got the Bible and the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Lost Gospels and everything tied up in one. He's amazing.
Hey, Mark, right before we go off, I'm just going to tell Lou the truth. So Mark was the one that said, fuck Lou. Don't let him use his notebook. Let's see how fucking smart he is tonight.
He did.
That's what he said.
Is it too late? Is it too late to put him back in the penalty box?
You know what? Right before we go off, you're in. You're in. That's a quick one. All right, gentlemen. I'm sure I will talk to you this weekend, or or text. Don't just because I'm on a cruise. Don't not text me. Don't leave me out of that.
I want to see pictures of that beautiful Caribbean, man.
Yeah, don't leave me out of the flea circus, because that's what our text group is like. It's the flea circus.
Fucking itchy.
Inside joke, people. All right, see you in